You had me on mute. Yo, what's poppin'? Look, y'all, I'm so excited. It's Friday, the day that I've been waiting for. I got Chia Morgan in the house. Hey, Chia.
Hey.
I've been waiting on this interview.
Look, I went and got my hair done for you and everything today.
Hey, because look, you looking so gorgeous.
Because y'all know I'm supposed to be having my way this summer. I ain't supposed to be doing nothing, but I had to be here with you. So
listen, girl.
Got a little color for you and everything.
Listen, you cut up for me. I love it. I love it. I love it. I love it. So, Chia, what's going on? Tell me. First of all, congratulations.
Thank you.
Congratulations. Tell everybody what I'm congratulating you about.
Nothing. Just got a master's degree in trauma therapy. Nothing.
Nothing. Just a little master's degree.
Just a little second master's degree. Nothing.
Oh, it's nothing. I'm so proud of you.
Thank you.
You know what's so crazy is that we sometimes, people look at us Black women or people in general, and we can't be proud of each other and be happy for each other. But listen, when I seen you did that and you posted that, because we've been friends on Facebook for a little while, but I had never, you weren't really posting, right? And so when you posted that, listen, it was like I got the damn master's degree. I was so excited about you.
This is our degree. Because everybody that know this degree, the emphasis was trauma therapy. The work I'm gonna do with it is emphasis like this for my hood. This degree for my hood because right now we have an opioid crisis, and don't get me wrong, it is horrible. It is terrible. But had we been as empathetic as a society to the crack era, I wouldn't have needed to dedicate this degree to my hood because we would have really taken care of the kids who were affected by their parents' addiction. We would have taken care of the parents' addiction and made sure they got the services. So everything that the crack era didn't take care of, I'm here to undo all of that.
Listen, that's wonderful. And I think that is like just an amazing thing that you do and have done, and that you even thought about to do in order to help and bring it, right? I think that that's just great. And I think that more people should be excited and be happy and be proud, because at some point we all might need your services. Listen,
I'm gonna be there available.
Trauma. We all got some trauma, and I think we need that. I think we need that as a city. I think we need some mindfulness as a city. We need some counseling as a city. We need all of that because we all have been traumatized, and especially these last 8.5 years, we've been traumatized by this world water crisis.
Listen, hold on, let me go back because I got to give all credit to the Lord for anything I do. Absolutely. So honestly, my old supervisor, I got these kids over here. So when y'all hear, they act like they don't see me on live, but these kids in the kitchen just making a mess. So my old supervisor, I text her because nobody knew I was in school. It was like my sister and brother didn't even know until this year that I started school last year. It was really the secret degree.
Yeah.
So when I text my old supervisor and told her, she was like, what? Because she had always talked to me about getting my MSW. And I was like, no, I'm good. Just bachelor's level. I just want to do advocacy. So with my old job that I used to work at, actually in trauma at Hurley, I only dealt with victims of crime. People would come in and say, and I would try to connect them with therapists. Some of them would do it. Some of them would say, would you sit in my session with me? I ain't never seen these people before in my life, but we just clicked and connected. And then there were some people that I did know, and they would say, I would go to therapy if you were the therapist. And so God just began to line it like all up. And then a friend of mine at the time, we was in mid conversation talking about something else, and he was like, I'm just gonna say it. It's time for you to go back and get your MSW. And it just all started lining up. So I really can't take credit for having this degree because I didn't even want it. I was like, I'm not writing another paper, but God lined it up. So that's where we are.
Listen, but I think what's even better for me and you telling that story is that you didn't fight it. you went on and did it, right?
I
Because
tried to
sometimes,
fight it for like 2 days, but it all lined up. And then, I had to have a letter of recommendation. And I was like, I'm just going to do it so he can stop being in my ear about it. So you had to have something from your professor. I got my bachelor's degree in 2011. So I'm like, I'm not even going to be able to find my professor. Googled her. She was like, I'll be more than happy to send it over for you. So I was like, okay, Lord, is somebody from 12 years ago willing to write this?
yeah,
Go ahead and do it. 12, 10, whatever. I'm not doing math today, but over the time that it should have been, that somebody
absolutely.
was more than willing to do it. So it just all lined up.
Listen, well, I am super proud of you. And I know we don't know each other from a can of paint, but I am genuinely happy for you. I am genuinely proud of you. And I am so looking forward to seeing all of the great work that I know that's going to come from this and what's going to come out of this. So congratulations again, Chia.
Thank you so much.
So, with that being said, it's a great segue into telling me what's your plans, girl? Tell us what you gonna have going on or what you have going.
I have been doing therapy because I had my internship. So I had my own, I've seen a couple clients there, but I had my own that I saw from start to finish already in my internship. But actually, I signed a contract with an agency, and this is really weird for me because I've never told people where I work, like ever, but kind of got to tell people where you work for them to come see you.
Yes.
So I signed a contract with Solers and Associates, and it was effective this month in July, and I'll actually see my first patient tomorrow. So this is super exciting, that I was able to be able to do that. And I'm still doing school social work, so that's going to be my main job.
Okay.
But I am doing therapy. I'm taking clients. It's a kid trying to talk to me right now, like I'm not talking to you. And it was like, God, whatever you want me to do, because I was like, I like kids and I want to keep them safe, but I don't really want to work with kids. And now I think about these kids every day since we've been on summer break. So,
I'm sure.
yeah, I think about them every day, and I can't wait to see them. So I am going to do private practice. I am, taking clients. I still have some availability. And then I'm also a mentor, but she's more like my other kid because she's one of the kids that's trying to talk to me right now while I'm talking to you. So I'm doing that also. So really it's supposed to be my teen mom summer, but I really haven't had that happen. So.
Well, that's awesome. So, with that being said, and with your private practice, just for people that are listening, do you take all forms of insurance, or is this private pay? How are you doing that?
So I do take all forms of insurance. One of my biggest things was, if I don't get to take Blue Cross, I need to be able to take Medicaid, because I feel like people need to be able to have Medicaid and pick a therapist that they want. And historically, for too long, people have just been given a therapist with Medicaid. So I do take many of the Medicaid plans, whatever my licensure will allow. Off the top of my head, I know it's Molina,
Okay.
McLaren Health Plan, Blue Cross Complete, and straight Medicaid. So there's a wide variety of Medicaid. I do take United Healthcare and Blue Cross Blue Shield, and then I take the Blue Cross Medicare, which is something that shocked me because Medicare is very, very strict on your licensure and how you can bill. And then I do cash pay for those who don't want to bill it to insurance, don't have insurance, whatever those needs are.
Okay. So with that being said, have you thought about like having like working in the schools or school systems as well?
Well, I'm a school social worker. Like, that's my day.
Oh, you're at the school. Okay.
That's like my day job, so to speak.
It's your day job. I got you. I got you.
So I am in the schools, but a lot, everything is, you'll hear me. If you've heard me talk about anything, you've heard me talk about my friends and the trauma they experienced growing up. So trauma is really my big forte: anxiety, depression, and then grief and loss. Because I was talking to my best friend last week, and she was like, you and your family have lost an abnormal amount of immediate family. Like, I don't have any grandparents. I lost my favorite aunt 3 months after my last grandparent. I've lost cousins. One of my programs I had in the community was geared after losing 2 of my close friends to gun violence. I've lost 3 of my first cousins to gun violence. So that is something that is very, very dear to my heart, and helping people kind of navigate through those challenges.
what about suicides? Do you deal in that?
Yeah,
Or
but I do deal with that, and that is a component of it because I only wanted to be a mental health advocate before God revealed his plans. My plans was that I was going to be a mental health advocate, and that was a big part of it because as a society, we hear people say that you're weak if you go that route, and they don't understand some of the pressures that are on life. It's like I cannot go another day with nothing going my way, nothing going right. I'm praying, I'm crying, I'm praying, I'm crying, I'm taking my medicine, I'm doing this. So
yeah,
that is something that, is one of my specialties, is dear to my heart, and I will be throughout the course of my career stand up on all the up to date training for that, because so many families have lost loved ones to that. And um, not saying that I'm a miracle worker, not saying that I will be able to stop it at all, but if I can sow one seed into somebody for them to know that they are needed, they are important, they are special, and then
yeah,
combine my advocacy to say, okay, if you're feeling this way because you don't have a resource, let's make a phone call and find a
absolutely.
resource.
So mental health is very important to me, and that's one of the reasons why I was so excited to be able to talk to you, because it's been important for me for a long, long time. So my father, I lost my father when I was really young, but my father was a Marine, and he was in Vietnam, and so he dealt with a lot of that. He had a lot of trauma from that, right? So I definitely have some of those things, and I can remember some things because I mean, I was young, but I wasn't that young, right? I definitely remember some things, but then also my father's brother later on in life when I was an adult then, but he committed suicide. So he committed suicide, and then we started taking some losses, like people being killed, like family members
Mm-hmm.
and close friends and all of these things, and it was just like boom, 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 everything one after another, right? And then my grandparents, who I was raised by, and then my other set of grandparents. So I had both sets of my grandparents until I was 40,
Oh my
almost
God, you're so lucky.
right. And so then, my grandmother died, and then these are my dad's parents. My grandmother died, then my grandfather died, and then my other grandfather died like a few months after that, and then my grandmother just passed, which really, Chia, when I tell you, when my grandmother died, that was something totally. My grandmother, the one that raised me, when she died, I
That was
I
it.
yeah, I don't think that I had even known that it was a point that I could break like that.
And I think, not even I think, I have no grandparents. I'm talking about not even the step grandparents. I have nothing. I
Yeah.
have my god grandmother. I have her. I hold on to her dearly.
Hmm.
Um, but when my grandfather died in 2005, I really think I lost myself and checked out. Like, I think I
Yeah.
just came back. Probably, I'm gonna say 2017, 2018. Like, it was a while. Like, there were years that I woke up crying every night, dreaming about him. Like, I didn't care about anything. And I
Yeah.
think that, you know, everybody know I love the Lord
Hmm.
to the end of me, to the death of me. I love
Hmm.
prayer. Prayer is always in order. But
Hmm.
so often, it's not a bad thing that the Lord is our foundation so much in the Black community. But
We
we gotta
forget about
pray
that.
and get a little bit of therapy, because Jesus
That's
gives us
right.
the tools. If we have cancer, we're not just gonna pray our way through. So
Absolutely.
with that grief, because that grief, it's like something sitting on your chest and it's not moving.
Yeah.
It's like dry ice sitting in your chest. Like, there were days I really felt like I could not breathe. And it started I was okay, and then I lost my dog, and then I lost my little cousin.
Hmm.
And those two started affecting my work in the sense that I was just like, if y'all get these notes, y'all get them, because I was just like tired, because like you said, you didn't know you could break. It's just like you tired all the time. And
Hmm.
my job was like, well, we have the employee support program. Would you like to do grief counseling? It only took me 3 sessions just to kind of talk out those emotions and really just break in her office, and I felt better.
Hmm.
And I don't know if that happened to me because, of course, I didn't know I was about to be a therapist then, because that was not in my plans. Like, maybe God was letting me experience that so I could tell somebody else. But we have to be able to encourage our people to go to therapy, because it can save your life. It can save your career. It can save, like, people go for, different reasons. It might just be like me. Like, I was okay. I was functioning. I was still doing everything, taking care of my house. I wasn't like depressed and not cleaning. It was just like I was just didn't care. I wasn't doing my notes and stuff like that. So whatever that thing is, talking to somebody that's a third party can really be beneficial.
So my say that you're absolutely right, and I'm going to tell you what it took for me to go and say, "Oh, I really got to go see somebody." I was feeling like I needed to see somebody. Like I've never shunned that. I've always started saying like, "Listen, it's no shame in seeing somebody, right?" But you know how sometimes you so strong and you doing some things you don't think like
You like, I got it.
but I got this. I'm good, right? Even when my grandmother passed, but my best friend Peaches died of COVID in January.
Oh no, my condolences.
And so when she died in see, because I'm right there right now. So when she passed away, that was the one, because I closed off, and I closed off from everybody. I wasn't answering the phone, like I wasn't going places. I mean, like I went to work, but I was
You
just,
weren't really there.
it was by memory, right? It was a memory reflex of me going to work and doing that. Because if you ask me right now, like, do you remember what you were doing? It, I can't really tell you. So it was all that memory reflex that I was doing it, but it had gotten so bad, Chia, that I just was like, I wasn't functioning for real. And so I said, yeah, I got to do something. And so when I went to work, I went and I said, hey, I'm gonna be off the floor for the day. And they were like, okay. They just thought I had some stuff I had to do back there, but I went to the grief counselor and I said, and when I went back there, she was like, hey, you need an update on somebody? I said, nope, I need to sit on the
I
couch.
need to see you.
Yeah, I said, nope, I need to sit on the couch. She said, okay. Oh, she was like, how much time you need? I was like, I don't know. We gonna
However
see.
long we here.
So when I went in, and I just was like, and at first I didn't even know where to start or what to say. And we just sat there, and then I just had to, and like you said, I think I just had to get it out. I had to cry it out. I had to do all of these things, but then she made me remember the things that I needed to remember in order to be able to function through it, right? And that was probably the best thing that I could have done. And I don't know how or where I would have been if it weren't for people like you, if I wouldn't have done that, right? So I'm a huge advocate of that, and I thank God for grief counselors. I thank God for counselors or therapists or whatever you want to call them, people to lean on, a shoulder to cry on, or whatever. But I really appreciate that, and that is in this, and again, that is one of the reasons why it's so important to me, and I advocate for it so much because we need it. And then it was so many things that ended up coming back out that I didn't even know that I was grieving over still, or hadn't really processed.
That's why I said let's take us. I am not saying we should not be on the opioid crisis like we are. We absolutely should. Because I'm
Yeah.
just gonna drop this out here. Y'all can. I know y'all like the tussle. Y'all can pull up if y'all want to talk about it. Some of our family and cousins is affected by the opioid crisis, so we need these interventions that they have now.
Absolutely.
However, what we do know is there is trauma from the 90s of the crack cocaine era being criminalized.
Mhm.
Parents were, instead of receiving services um, for their children, they were receiving CPS cases and foster care cases.
Yes.
That's traumatizing. I've been a CPS worker where I'm crying, the worker that I'm helping remove crying, the parent crying, the police trying not to cry, and the kids are
Mhm.
crying. That is a traumatizing moment. And
Mm.
so for for kids to be taken from their families, siblings were sometimes split up because what do we know about crack cocaine? Crack cocaine, it makes you fertile. So mom might have had 9 kids that couldn't get all placed in a home. So all that trauma can come up with just one instance where you like, you know what? I had suppressed it. Me and my siblings good. My mama clean and she thriving now, but they never got a chance to deal with it.
Yeah. Yeah. So, with that said about that era too. So, do you or any of your counterparts, maybe, do they specialize in like the police force and the firemen for the trauma that they encounter on a day to day basis?
So I don't. I can't say no, but I haven't spoken with anybody specifically. However, because of, my relationships with different people, I've actually had a couple police and a couple fire men/women reach out to me and say, point me in a direction of somebody that can talk to us. Because imagine the things that they see and have seen on a daily basis. I know me, being in Hurley, I've been in the trauma bay at the time that the doctor has had to make a call. I've been with the doctors when they had to go and tell that family. And it's not the greatest day that I've had. So police having to be at that actual scene, firemen having to go and pull people out and walk away and say there was nothing else we could do. I'm not talking about negligence. I'm talking about those who put
Yeah.
it all on the line. I need to be clear there. I need to be very clear there.
Absolutely.
Those who have gone into those houses and were willing to make the ultimate sacrifice and then it didn't happen, or some of our police are from our community and they've had to be the first ones at the scene to see their neighbors, their childhood friends. So I've pointed them in the right direction, and I'm hoping that we say that we love the police in our community. We say that we back the blue, but to back the blue is more than putting that flag in your yard. I'm hoping that we as a community will really rally around those good ones,
Yeah.
those good ones, to make sure that they are able to heal from making the sacrifices that they make every day to make our community a better and a safer place.
Chia, do you believe that from the water crisis and the lead levels and that you will see an abundance of children, maybe probably from this?
I can emphatically say that you will. And I don't know if you remember the forum that I had with the judges last week, but I asked them that, will you consider a youth's past? Will you stop? And
Mhm.
will you, say we're going to take a recess? We are going to suspend this because um, kids who were 11 in 2014, they're how old now? They're 19. They're
Mhm.
angry. Their emotions. Kids who were 5 then, they're 13, turning 14 now. They hitting puberty. That lead has them all emotionally out of control. And so we absolutely will begin to see that. And that is why we cannot afford to politicize mental health care in our community. That's why we have to speak against that when we see it happening, because people may go to get this health care and they can't afford to be caught in political games. They can't afford to be caught into who's cool with who. These kids need real help, real money, real support to help us go from crisis to recovery. Look
I-
at Freddie Gray. Look at, those who were out there. What's the other one's name? It's so many of them. It's hard to remember their stories, but
yeah.
Brooklyn, he was in New York and
Oh.
he got the lead from living in the housing complex. Those
Mhm.
type of things. He had a criminal history, and they all trace back to the lead. And so we as Flint can look at those type of stories and really say, how can we rally around our children? What services can we put in? And I do know that a great amount of the schools use their ESSER funds to bring in, positions such as mine, where it's not special ed, is general education children who
Mhm.
were affected. They're trying to control their emotions. They're dealing with the different things. And so we really, really have to be intentional about putting people in place who are going to fight for that, and not people who think, we're already in recovery, because the water crisis is more than some pipes being replaced. It's
Absolutely.
people's lives are affected day by day. Their
Absolutely.
brains are forever changed.
Absolutely. Absolutely. I wholeheartedly agree. That's just one of those things that I think that people are not mindful of when they think about the water crisis, right? Because they think about having clean water to drink and to bathe in and not giving you a rash. But I don't think that people are thinking about the mental trauma that is behind it. And again, it's going on 9 years.
It
Nine
is. So a
years.
kid who was a kid then, they're coming right up on that situation where we are not, oh, look at cute little Mickey. He was 5. He's becoming angry, mad Mickey who
Mhm.
is a threat. And it's like, no, let's go back and look at those records and see how his brain was forever changed. I remember in the thick of the water crisis, because it's not over, but in the thick of it, I was on Steve Harvey's show and there was a mom on there. All 7 of her children tested elevated lead levels. That's one mother who has to deal with this for the rest of her life with her children. And so when we look at those stories, she's the one that we know about. There were some families who they missed the timeline for it to be in their blood. And then there's children who were, you know, their parents just didn't know what to do. I mean, who thinks that this is going to happen? And so while we were getting tested, while we were doing all of that, there were a lot of children who may have slipped through the loops, and there were, may have been parents who otherwise would have never had a child needing mental health services. And now because of the water crisis, they are. But, we've taken the expanded Medicaid, and it's like, why would you take it? Because this is the time that we really start to see the needs that people may have.
Right. So, I'm glad that you brought that up, and I'm glad that you are cognizant of that, because so many people aren't. And I think we need to think about that in relation to the violence that is going on in the city. You got to be able to connect those dots, and you got to think about it. You can't just say, hey, these people are just running crazy and this and that. We have to give an account of the things that they have encountered to even get to this level. So I'm really glad that you are working with that. My mom had a question for it. Well, you seen some of those questions.
I'm trying to keep up. I don't want nobody to think I'm being funny. They come in so fast.
That's why I try to say them out loud, because
I can't keep up. I'm trying to speak to everybody.
That cracked me up, and I was trying not to laugh. But
I was trying to. Tony Wiggins
is such he
is a good up. He talk about, I talked to the judges that same day and they let him out of Facebook jail. No, I cannot, because sometimes he be over his allotted strikes, him and Kevin Tate. I don't know why they be acting like that.
Listen, they cut up, okay? They cut up. So Derek Smart said social workers are not DHS caseworkers. They do case management, not accredited like Chia and myself are. You two, I gotta get you two together. We gotta have a show. We gotta talk about it. My mom.
There are some. That is true to a point, but there are some social workers who are in DHS and they go above and they put it all on the line to try to help, those families, because they have their social work degree. So no, I remember one of my supervisors telling me this is not social work, but. Mickey, people like to accuse me of being funny acting, so I have to make sure that if they say my name directly, I speak out, saying that, this is not social work, but there are some who are social workers and they will put it all on the line to try to help a family, get resources and do all of that. But Derek is not wrong in his statement.
Okay. Yeah. So my mom said, what about oncology workers? My mother is she works at the cancer center, that they deal in death on a daily. And she said, do you work with them as well? Or will you?
I have not worked with them. Most of my work has been mental health and trauma. That has been the focus of my work. I think it's important, and I think that it's beneficial. I have a cousin, God rest her soul, who passed away in 2015 from breast cancer, and there were social workers who were very beneficial to her life. I don't think that I'm emotionally available to do oncology. Like, I wouldn't even be a benefit to the family, because I'm gonna be in there balled up in the corner crying. Like, you're supposed to be here to help us. I can't.
Okay.
So I don't think that's my specialty. Like, grief, loss, trauma. I think the only reason I don't cry is because I can see my friends who I have lost. I can see their obituaries, or I can see the letters that I've received from them in prison. So it's my driving thing. But with cancer, we just gonna all be in the room crying together.
Listen, I wholeheartedly agree with you, and I there's a special place in heaven for all of them that can do that, because I don't think that I would be able to do that as well. And I'm going to tell you something else. You being a social worker for children, there's a special place in heaven for you as well, because I'll be crying with the kids. I'll be like, I'll take them. Just bring them with me. Give them to me. Right?
Just give them all to me.
Just give them to me. Then I'll be mad talking about I'm tired. But listen, I am just one of those people that I feel like, okay, I'll just do it. And, because I just I don't know. I can't do it, Chia. I can't do it. It's special.
I will say there's a lot of days that, working. There's a lot of days in Hurley. I'm thankful for the supervisor that I had. Because it would be, you know what? I'm not going to lunch. I'm about to just go sit and chill because today was just too much for
It was
me.
much. It was
It
much.
was much.
It was much.
And I just need this moment. Don't
Yeah.
give me nothing right now. There's been days, at CPS where I just had to just sit in the car before I came in the house. And so I'm not saying that I'm superwoman and I can do it, but that's how I know those things that God has given me, because he always give me the strength to push through, because it's really hard. It really be hard seeing some of the stuff. And I Steps to Healing a Broken Generation, if anybody remembers when I did that, it was definitely dedicated to my friends Mario and Mario. And I carried that in my heart. And then losing my cousins, one of them was older than me. That was my sophomore year. And then my two younger cousins was 2014 and 2016. And I remember being at the scene
Mm-hmm.
and, just like, this can't be real. And so I carry that stuff in my heart when I'm talking to other families, especially when I would go with the doctors, when I was at Hurley, and
Mm-hmm.
the support that I would try to give those families, because the support that I wish my family had, it just wasn't there. At the time, the program at Hurley didn't start until 2018. And so I always tried to keep myself strong enough to give them what I wish we would have had. My uncle, Shardy, is in the chat, and he can tell you that was a really rough time for our family, losing those two. And, there was a lot of crying, there was a lot of hurt, there was a lot of confusion, and families need all the support they can get.
Absolutely. Becky Brown said you should be a city of Flint water bill therapist because the bill is too much.
Becky, I've been chilling today because, I started the morning off trying to figure out why I'm getting letters threatening to turn my water off if
Okay,
I
because
didn't
I
want a new
seen
meter.
that letter you posted, Jim. I wasn't gonna skip over that, baby, because I seen that. I said no. I said, okay.
I don't want no meter. I want our pipes replaced. Mine are replaced, but I want the whole city replaced.
Absolutely.
So I don't want no meter. But y'all know I gotta take 3 showers a day because cleanliness is next to godliness, or whatever the saints used to say.
That's
I
it.
gotta take my shower. So I went ahead and scheduled the appointment, but I just wanted to be known. I'm mad about it. I am mad about it. But they can't be cutting my water off now.
Listen, okay, because I feel like that about my water and my heat, baby. Because listen, I'm anemic and look.
I said, now y'all knew how to get me to get this meter. Talking about, if you don't make your appointment by July 29th, your water will be shut. Let me call.
Okay, let me go on to do
Let
it.
me go ahead and call, because I need to be. I mean, we can't use the water for too much or nothing, but I do need to stay clean.
Tony Wiggins said we have a Zen room now, Chia Morgan, just for kind of just chilling out or decompressing.
Him and Kevin don't know how to chill.
Mm-hmm.
They don't know how to chill. I'm not believing him. They don't know how to act.
They do not. They do
They
not.
do not know how to
Listen,
act.
look, Kevin just put it. If you would have be a client, would you pink slip me? If I was be a client, would you pink slip me?
He need to be at school so we can pink slip him. Like, he need to go to ISS.
He need to go to ISS.
He needs to go to ISS, because I don't even know what's wrong. Like, Satara, what is wrong with them too? Like, they just be saying anything.
Listen, and then, but let me tell you, I've never met Tony Wiggins in person yet, because it's coming. But that Kevin Tate,
I just be like, why? I had to get. I'm not gonna say the topic on here because I'm serious that it's off limits. But I had to pull up on them like, yo, this topic is off limits, because they was taking it too far. I'm like,
yeah.
no, y'all can't do that.
Yeah.
Yeah.
We have a crime.
So if anybody needs to book me for therapy, like, I don't have my cards. I'm like literally just launching this. But the number, if you need to schedule me,
Chia posted, and I'm a pin it.
I don't know how to do all that. Okay,
no, you just posted. You just post a comment. I'll pin it.
Okay, let me see. 2. Y'all know I'm technology now. I think Satara. Let me tell the people that Mickey tried to make me be late today.
Tell them.
Mickey tried to make me be late today. I was like, y'all know I hate when people are late. I hate being late. And Mickey tried to make me be late.
Chia, what you doing?
I'm pinning this number.
No, you got 34, then you got 248. What are we
Yes,
doing?
I'm trying.
No,
Okay, there we go.
I was going to say, just put the number in there. I'm a pity. You just
I
put it.
kept putting the wrong number.
Right,
I
hold
was
on.
trying to get the 248. I didn't put 34. But yeah, if anybody needs me now, if we close friends or family, y'all cannot even try it.
There we go.
It's unethical. Y'all not about to compromise my license, but I can get you to somebody.
Yeah. Kevin Tate, he said he gonna book you. It's gonna.
Well, since I've never technically met him, we might be able to get him to calm down. So
okay. So Tony Williams had said, on a serious note, did the police
No.
officers get those sign-on bonus checks yet?
They did not hit the accounts yesterday.
Mm.
It's in the works, though. A reliable source. This is no
Okay.
shade. A reliable source did say
Okay.
that the communication has been established and that the train is moving.
Okay.
But the officers did not get the money yesterday.
So Chia, let's segue into we got your degree out there, right? We got the work you doing out there, right? We got your number out there if they need to book you.
Can I just say one more thing before we get into it?
Please go for it.
Because y'all know I'm a notary too, right?
So absolutely, because you know what? When people say they need a notary, I always tag you. So yes, I did know that.
Nikki, no, they did not hit those accounts. So one thing that we were talking about.
I gotta stop it now. Too much advertisement. Too much advertisement.
They didn't. I was asked did they get the checks. They did not get the checks. So I can't say their names. I'm not revealing my sources, but they did not get the checks, and that's all I can tell you. So if you see an officer or something, buy them a Vernus and show them we appreciate them because they didn't get their bonus.
Yeah. No, Mickey, I can advertise for Chia. Don't do that.
I think that we talked about prayer in the Black community. Let me say I'm not telling nobody not to pray because I'm gonna do it a couple times a day. But the other thing is we really didn't handle our business historically, and that's not because all the time we didn't want to. The way that the structure was set up, we weren't really given the information about wills and power of attorney and deeds and things like that. But so often people call me and say, my mama just died yesterday. She got these power of attorney papers, but she never got to sign them. Can you notarize them? No, I cannot. So if you healthy today and you thinking about it, I want us to really put an emphasis on having that tough conversation with your kids, telling them, where your last will is. And a lot of times, we say it, but it's true. All you have to do is just die and the family will fall apart. If you put your wishes in writing, your kids and grandkids and nieces and nephews don't need to fight over each other over what you might have told one person. It's in writing.
Chia, you know what? We should come back. We should come back on. We should schedule another time and we should come back on. We should talk about that because let me tell you how important that is to me. I was a bank manager. I was a bank manager for Huntington Bank. And do you know, it was such and I was a notary then. I was a notary for the bank. But how disheartening it is for people to come in and I would notarize for free. I didn't care who I notarized for. I would notarize anything, but to talk to these people about making sure that you have a beneficiary on your account, making sure that if you do have a will or you have some things that you want to go to specific people, just write it down.
All you gotta do is write it down.
Listen, you can write it on this napkin I got right here. You
can write it on this pillow.
Listen,
as long as your signature is on it,
as long as your signature is on it, and we can get Chia Morgan to notarize it because I'm not a notary anymore. But however, we can get her to do that, then it's all good. But matter of fact, I would become a notary again and go where Chia can't go when Chia is at work if she wanted me to.
Because we have to get these things done, and I thought about that in this conversation because when you're grieving, the last thing you need to be trying to do is figure out where's grandma policy. Who can sign off on it? Grief is hard enough. You don't need to guess that. Put your affairs in order while you're in your right mind, while you're in good health. It could be a morbid conversation, but it's a one-time conversation that could save your family a lot of heartache.
Absolutely. And you know what? And I wholeheartedly advocate for you having those conversations, to ask, hey, um, do you have a will? Do you have someone on your beneficiary? Like, I would ask those things. And let me tell you all what else is important. What everybody forgets to put a beneficiary on: your bank account. Put a beneficiary on your bank account.
You got $6,000 sitting in the bank and you go get in a car accident today. I'm not going to jail trying to get it out the ATM.
Not even only that, if it has to go,
She gotta go to probate. Just don't worry about it, baby.
Absolutely. But I don't care how much money it is. But if it has to go, it's gonna take so long for you to go through probate to do all of that. And then listen, y'all don't even know the extent of the paperwork that has to go through in order for that to happen. Like, listen, cancel Chris, you might as well get another job, or 2 or 3.
Let's call it today.
That's it. Because how long you gonna be waiting on that? Child, listen. It's easier to have that uncomfortable.
I have one little piece of paper.
But it's
easier. You can give power of attorney for your kids.
Absolutely.
If you know that you don't have a strong support system, but you have one person that if something happens to you, they take care of your kids, put your affairs in order.
Absolutely. And if things change as time goes on, make sure you make those changes too. Please make sure you make those changes, because that's important. Very important. Because a lot of times what I have seen is that people have put, especially when they're older, like let's take your grandmother, for instance, if she was still living, right? And she maybe have had like one of your aunts, but your aunt passed away, but she never changed it. So then grandma died, and then it's in another person's name that has also passed on. Here we go back to the whole probate thing.
Stay up on, and like I said, I'm not blaming us, because sometimes we just don't handle our business and we say we'll do it later. But in a great majority of times, people just don't know.
That the conversation is too uncomfortable, and they just don't feel like they should have it, right? Mm-hmm. But you should
tell your people it's under the TV stand, and this is where it is. Take your copy to the bank, and you don't have to have a conversation anymore.
Absolutely. Yes. So I think we should definitely come back and do something with that.
We can come back and talk about that. But I just had to put that out there. We had to plant the seed.
Absolutely. So we got all that out.
The way.
Chia, tell me about the cookout, baby. Tell me about the cookout.
Okay, so the cookouts, they pretty cool. I like the cookouts. My friend Jasmine McKinney and I we're co-leads on that project, and it's through the Levin Center at Wayne State University. And the purpose of the cookouts are, how do you bring people together, especially in an urban community? Food. Historically, that's been how we get together, whether it's church, whether it's a funeral, whether it's a baby shower. We need some food.
Because listen, food and music, give me every time.
I'm coming every time. Now, the food might not even be good, but I'm going to come just so I can tell you that don't even look good. I'm coming. I'm going to be like, that don't look good, but.
Because I'm visual. And
I can look at that spaghetti salad and be like, nah.
It's too light skinned. I'm good.
Or it's too much going on.
Yes.
Open that door.
Yeah.
So, we have that going on. And so the cookouts it's an oversight. Our supervisor and the director of the Levin Center is James Townsend. He's a former state rep. And his thing is, how can we empower people to really in between? But we hear all the complaints that anybody has ever had between January and now, because it's election season. Oh, yeah. But we have these concerns, we have these complaints when it's not election season. And so how can we bring our voices together to amplify them so that we can get them to the right channel, so that we can tell people this is what you do? Imagine the Flint water crisis, had we all had a place to come together and bring our jugs of water and bring our hair samples and all of that, things may have gone in a different trajectory. Or when people went on and did the water switch and said the water was going to be great for the Flint River, all of us were on Facebook. If you go back to 2013, 2014, when they first started talking about that, we were not with it. And so if we could have come together and used the tool to collectively say, oh, this is who we need to talk to about this not happening, it may have gone different. Some people may have been subpoenaed before it happened. And so the cookouts are really a chance for us to come together as a community to share our thoughts, to share our feelings, and then to try to figure out how do we find the best solutions for what's going on. Just giving an example, I'm a Flint Housing Commissioner. And so in one of the meetings that we had, someone said, one of their issues was they can't get in touch with anybody at Flint Housing, and they had this voucher. And they truly did not know I was a commissioner. Well, at the next meeting, we had a Flint Housing staff there to answer any questions. And so sometimes people just don't know what to do, who to go through. And so this really brings us collectively together, and it gets it to the right form of government. So with the cookouts, we can't really say we're going to promise all this change, but what we can promise is we will amplify the voice. We will get it to the right people. And then Jasmine has put together a 4-page front and back resource for the community. Any resource you can think of is on there, from the freestanding food pantries that I have through Well of Hope all the way up to Congressman Kildy's office. So it's pretty intense on the resources that you have. So we're just
trying to, the cookout.
The cookout the next cookout is Thursday. In Howard Estates.
Thursday at Howard Estates. What's the time?
5:30 to 7:30. We have Yum Biddles bringing out her food truck. Everything is free. And we break out into breakout groups, and we really, focus on some top priorities, some top questions. And then for those who come to the cookout, they share their contact information, and then we send them updates for, at the very end, after the cookouts have concluded, this is what we're going to do, this is what we're looking to do. But they've been really good as far as bringing our voices together, because what people will see is my issue is not exclusive to me. So we need to get together and really talk about how can we move this forward.
What was the time again? 5:30 to
7:30.
All right, look at there. Okay, look at that. The cookout. So y'all hear that? Hey, listen. And Becky Brown said, what did Becky Brown say? She said something about water, filtered water. Hold on, let me go back to it. She said, Flint Public Library has a filtered water system, clean water for all. Have y'all been to the library? Please go. It's beautiful. It is beautiful. Y'all go. Definitely go. All right. Chia got to get the children together, y'all.
Because I know y'all hear this alarm. I don't know where she going, but y'all hear the alarm going off?
Where's she going?
I'm trying to figure it out when she come turn this alarm off.
Kevin, tell you need free housing. Can he get?
I'm not dealing with Kevin today.
Kevin, I guess not. Mickey said 15% come to A1
15% are free.
I think he's talking about this advertisement, but you're right. 15% are free. I don't know what.
15% are free.
Mickey be trying. You listen. Mickey be all about his dollars.
You see, you try to make me late today.
Y'all listen. Chia want to tell y'all about how Mickey wanted to make her late today. Go ahead, Chia. You can tell her.
I was just devastated that I was about to be late, and I was like, Satara, I'm gonna be late, but I almost made it.
It was okay. Sometimes we have it's technical difficulties, beyond our control. Now, when you just late because you late, you just that's crazy.
Now that's crazy.
That's crazy. All right. Degree, social work, water,
notary,
cookout, notary.
Now let's talk real talk.
Ooh, come on, Chia, because I know you got something funny. Come on.
So y'all know, God been working on me.
Oh, yeah. Okay. Yes. Working on us all. Yes.
Yeah, he working on us all. But y'all, this election, y'all know how we had to vote for Biden because democracy was on the line. Whether you wanted to or whether you didn't, that's not my fight right now. But whether you wanted to or not, you had to. Mm-hmm. The future of Flint is on the ballot.
Man, if you don't say that slow, say it slow. Yes,
the future of our city is on the ballot. And I know, I know a lot of people like to say that they're not political And I know a lot of people like to say, they don't want to pay attention to the election. It is usually not cool, but I just usually kind of let it go. But this time, we really cannot afford to stay home. We cannot.
We can't.
My grandparents on my maternal and paternal side migrated to Flint for better quality of life.
Absolutely.
Both of my parents worked in GM. So there was a time that Flint was the place to be. Flint is home of the sit-down strikes. Flint is home to GM. Flint is home to the concept of Flint community schools. All of that is by the wayside now.
Yeah.
All of that.
Yeah.
The first Black mayor of a major city was here in Flint. There's too much history in Flint to just let it be the way that it is now. We have lost a great majority of our tax base with GM, but we don't have to let that be our story.
Absolutely.
Camden, New Jersey, they went through similar things of Flint years ago with the literacy rates, with the poverty, with the crime and everything, but their politicians got together and said, not on our watch will we hand over our city like that. And we have to put people in office this go round. I'm not talking next time, because next time we might not have a city to vote for. We might be voting for the county seats.
I'm telling you.
So we have to put people in place that are going to fight and say, not on our watch will Flint go downhill like this. And the thing is, you can support a lot of the things that are going on, but still demand that the emphasis is on Flint. We are riddled with crime. We sat here and talked about it as we talked about mental health, where our loved ones, our kids. I was just reading last night, like 3 a.m. I woke up and I seen that a 16-year-old got shot yesterday. We cannot afford to be in a position where our police are not getting paid when the crime is elevated in the manner that it is. I told y'all in a post last week, I love downtown, like love it. Somebody's coming in to have a meeting with me next week, and my first place out of my mouth was 501. So I definitely want our downtown to look indicative of growth, but I don't want to turn 3 blocks to the left, right, north, or south, and it's dilapidated.
Absolutely.
So we cannot allow the focus to remain only
strictly downtown.
And so, even with Operation Arrowhead, it's a great thing. It's a great concept to have a partnership. Partnerships matter. But why did it take a major issue downtown for everybody to come to the table and say, we can form these partnerships? We need help in the city of Flint. That should have been established, because we've been losing cousins on every corner at alarming rates. I don't need somebody to give me a news statistic. I just told you I worked in the trauma bay. This has been looming and growing for a significant amount of time. And so as this has been taking place, these partnerships should have been being formed if we want to save our city, our community. I'm not going to work. If I'm doing pro bono work, it's going to be pro bono. But I'm not going to work expecting a check and my check not clearing. Like, how can we expect our officers to not leave?
Absolutely.
I'm not doing it, and I give everything away. So that's one thing. The lead levels are constantly being reported as going up.
And they are constantly going up. We
need to have politicians from the mayor's office to the city council to the state rep to the state senate yelling about the water every chance they get. Shout out to Senator Ananick, who put together that package to go to Governor Whitmer's office that put an emphasis on mental health here and some of the programs that we have. But one branch, 2 branches of government should not be doing it all. So we need to look at not the names. We need to look at not our relationship, because somebody can be an amazing friend, an amazing church member, an amazing neighbor, even an amazing person, but absolutely suck as a politician for what we need at this time. And so we cannot afford, if somebody is mad at you for supporting who you think is best to bring our city together, that might be an indication that they're not the best person for Flint.
Yeah.
That might be an indication that they're not for Flint. We should not be in a situation. There's multiple candidates who I've seen during this election season, because I didn't support them, they don't speak to me anymore. I don't need you representing me, because
Wow.
I'm serious too.
Oh, listen. I'm not. Listen. I'm not near into some of the circles that you are in, but I'm there. I already know.
And I still thought you was an okay person. I just didn't think you was right for that seat. If we are having that going on, there's no defense for that, because how do I know that if you are bringing in vendettas over something like that, that if somebody that didn't support you but has the qualifications and the capabilities to make your office, your administration better for the good of Flint, that you'll reach out and bring them in?
So, with that being said, where's the diplomacy?
Where's the diplomacy? And again, multiple candidates. That's alarming. It's not just one, it's not just two, it's not just three.
Absolutely.
And anybody that know me know I put it all on the line for Flint. So I'm not just voting for somebody because they cool and we can have tea and crumpets. What are you going to do for my city?
Absolutely.
And I tell people, just because you see somebody that has been in office for a long time doesn't mean that they've been in office making a strong impact. Just because you see somebody at everything doesn't mean that they're actually making an impact in those rooms that they're in. They might just be there. So we need to really look at the record.
And just because you see someone make a post or post a picture that they've been around or there doesn't mean that they actually did anything or brought anything substantial to the table.
No, it does not. And I mean, a lot of things are public information. A lot of stuff is public information. And so if somebody says, I'm running for this seat because I've held this seat before, go pull their voting record.
Yeah.
Go pull their whatever record you want to pull. If somebody says, I've served in this capacity, go check their record. Talk to the people who they've served with. I mean, we all have to do our due diligence to put people in office, because we're all complicit when things happen if we're not doing that. You can ask people questions, and if somebody won't give you answers and they're on the campaign trail, how would you vote for them? Like, it's like a duh question for me. It's like, you talked to them, you reached out to them, you couldn't access them. If they're not accessible on the campaign trail, how accessible are they going to be in office?
Absolutely.
Like, sometimes people in Flint make me wonder, because we are just so easy to hand our vote out. And because somebody let us meet this person or that person, we want to put them in office. I know a lot of people. That doesn't mean I can go and change the statistics that are going on in Flint. So we have to stop being so awe and starstruck and really consider, do we really love this city? Because a lot of people will fight over their hood and their turf, but they won't even do the due diligence to go and put the right people in there to save those hoods and those turfs.
I always tell people, since you're on your smartphone, make your smartphone be smart. Do a little research. It's okay. It's not gonna hurt.
Do a little research.
But I'm gonna tell you what else bothers me, Chia. Not even only being starstruck about seeing this person around and every person or people around in different places like that. But I'm gonna tell you the other thing that disheartens me is just the whole name recognition thing. Because all you hear is this name and this name and this name, but you haven't done the educated work in order to make an educated decision and cast an educated vote.
Mm-hmm.
That's my issue with a lot of that. And so my whole reasoning is asking people to come on and talk to people so that the people that are watching can make an educated decision.
Even when I ran for city council,
mm-hmm.
people would be like, I saw you do Blessed to Be a Blessing, and I saw you do this. But I'm not running on Blessed to Be a Blessing. Blessed to Be a Blessing is going to do its thing every year. But that's not what I'm running on.
Right.
Ask me about these are my 5 campaign things. You don't want to ask me a question about that? Yeah. If I would say that for myself, what you think the next person got coming? Like, And if somebody truly wants to be a public servant, they should be honored to say, this is what I have done. This is what I'm going to do. This is what my experience is. I don't know. I'll get the answer. I mean, anything outside of that, they might not be in it for the right reason.
What do you think about the? Let's dig a little deeper, Chia. What do you think about the mayoral race?
So I'm glad you asked me that, because I've been trying to figure out, y'all know I hate long statuses on Facebook.
Mm-hmm.
So I've been trying to figure out how to say this in a couple words. So a lot of people think that I support Karen Weaver because she's my friend.
Excuse me.
What they don't know is I support Karen Weaver, and we became very good friends because I saw somebody that loved my city the way I do. I didn't know Karen from that carpet over there. And I called her office. I didn't even talk to her. I called her office, talked to then her executive assistant, Maxine Murray. And I said, as I had always done with Blessed to Be a Blessing, invited the mayor. And I said, hey, can Dr. Weaver come and serve for Blessed to Be a Blessing? We just want her for 30 minutes. Dr. Weaver came. I'm talking about fire chief, police chief, her personal security, one of her kids, and somebody else from her office with a proclamation for Blessed to Be a Blessing. We couldn't pull her off the line. I'm talking about her 30 minutes came. We like, your 30 minutes up. She like, okay, 5 more minutes. Well, we got somebody else coming. And just seeing how before even her time to serve, she went around picking up plates off the table and putting them in the trash. This is the mayor who had just been to the White House. And like, you've been to the White House with the Barack Obama, and you here at my little dinner picking up plates and talking to kids, and we really could not get her off the line. And then even after she came off the line, it was a fire that night. That's how we got her off the line. Remember those apartments over by Lippincott, like down in the curb by Clifford? They had a fire, and Chief Barton was like, we have to go. Like, that's how we got her off the line, because of somebody's safety. And from there, I just took to her, because I'm like, oh my God, seeing how she served on that line, seeing how intense she was, people trying to come through the line and they telling her their stories. She wasn't saying, catch me in my office hours.
Oh,
she was saying, okay, give me the information. And I'll, she had people writing down little notes for her. And, I'm not even gonna lie. When she first didn't have office hours, I was like, what is this? But then I got to see why, because she doesn't have time. The time that she could be in office hours meeting with one person, she out in the community event meeting with 10, 15 people.
Right.
So that's when she garnered my support. And just over time, she remained so humble. I mean, like, she could pick up her phone and call Hillary Clinton right now. And she's still so humble, so willing to serve. And, anything, she knocks her own doors for her campaign and talks to people. I've been at tables with her where people have promised things for Flint. She got to the table and they didn't. And she was like, I'm leaving this table and never coming back. And, that type of stuff is somebody I want in a leader for me, because she's not about to sell us out.
Absolutely.
As many people she's been flown to New York to be the DNC rep. She's, been a delegate for a surrogate for, Michael Bloomberg. Like, she a star. None of that phases her when it comes to being here. Absolutely. And when we talk about people being in the trenches, that's it. So that's how we became friends, because I was like, I just need to get close to her and I need to know, a little bit more about her. And then we just, like, I've been in this lady's house and cooked. Y'all gotta know how much she loved Flint for me to go in her house and cook.
Yeah.
And she ain't on the pole for me saying we got to get her out of here. And like I said, I've personally been in those rooms where we've had like VIP access to some stuff. They wasn't rocking for Flint the right way. And she was like, we going home. That's a leader. That's somebody who has Flint in their heart. Somebody who has Flint in their in their pocket. Even when, you know, she won the recall, I remember I was like, man, we've been running, we've been hitting these doors. Let's jump on a plane in the morning. She was like, I got meetings scheduled in the morning. And so it's never about her. It's always about Flint. It's always, what can I do? She's reached out so much to the young people for economic development and businesses that normally would never hit the mayor's office, not just in Flint, but in any city. She like, I want to go, I want to taste their food, you know, talking to her. And she's like, such and such business is having a grand open and I'm gonna go taste their food. I'm gonna go get their shirts. And I'm looking at her like, how you even know about these people? Because she's aware.
She's watching. She does all of that.
Listen,
so
that's how we became. That's how she garnered my support, because she's just so humble with it. And you know, there's nobody, as all the stars that she's been with, you call her, she free, you invite her to your church, your birthday party, your baby birthday party, you'll be like, Mary Weaver, how you know that baby? I met him in Kroger and that we was talking and they told me come by, so my schedule was clear. I can't stay, but you know, I'm gonna stop by. And those are the type of things that you want in somebody that truly can, whether it's the CEO or the janitor, she embodies that in the way that she serves. Has she made mistakes? Yeah, she'll say it herself. Has she done things that I'm like, now personally I wouldn't have did that, but I need you to explain why. Yeah, because I'm not, my daddy, my pastor, and I'm not finna rock with every decision he make. So my friend not about to get that. But when I talk to her and I'm like, you know, can you explain why you, I'm not saying it's wrong, I'm just trying to figure out how you came to that conclusion. She's like, yeah, you got a minute. And so those are the type of things that make it, that's like, this lady is really in it for the city. You know, she's a clinical psychologist. She took a pay cut to be the mayor of Flint. How do I know? Because I'm on the local officers compensation committee. She took a pay cut for what she could be making. And I'm forgiving and I'm kind, but y'all ain't about to, like, the way that they be slandering her name in this city for like 3 years and then she came back and ran again. Child.
Listen.
She a better one than me.
Okay. Because listen here. I'm yet striving and yet working to get there.
You're working on me.
I'm yet working, Chia. I'm yet working.
And I think I'm pretty cool. I think I'm pretty humble. I think I can take a lot on the chin. Yeah. But at some point, I would have been like, I ain't got to argue with y'all, but you won't see me on another ballot.
Chia, are you, why haven't you run for city council again?
Y'all can have it. But I'm going to rock with the people. I'm going to rock with the people, you know. I'm going to get an answer where I can get an answer, but I ain't got time to be sitting there to 2, 3, 4 o'clock in the morning. And I wish somebody, because y'all know I don't believe in code switching. I've never believed in code switching. I like red hair. I got my big ghetto girl earrings in today. And I do enunciate, but I'm not trying to, you know, change my vernacular or anything of that nature. So the moment that someone felt it was okay to call me ghetto,
baby,
no. So it's just best that I just remain an advocate. Yep.
Okay. No, said I got that. So, all right, we got into the mayoral race. What about the 70th district state race?
I have nothing.
No, you got something.
I got nothing.
I don't believe you.
Like, we vote in.
Gee, I don't believe.
Is it 4? We vote in 4 days.
Yes,
it's gonna be me and Jesus. They say you can't take nobody in the.
Yeah.
I'm gonna be like, Jesus, what do I circle? I'm 4 days out and I still don't know. Yep. Now, I said this in writing, but I did say that Trevor has caught my attention more than anybody, but you can't split your ballot.
Not in the primary.
Don't go splitting your ballot in the primary.
Don't do it.
Don't do it.
Yeah.
It's gonna spoil you. But I think that he has. When we was out here, let me tell y'all. When he was out here with you, let me tell you how I really be trolling people sometimes. Y'all know I was in Orlando in the lazy river asking him all them questions, and he handled them with grace. Some of them he was like, I don't know. Some of them he was like, you might not like the answer, but this is it. And that was real to me. Like, I can respect the I don't know, then I'm gonna make it sound good.
Mm-hmm. So I'm gonna tell you what I liked about Trevor is that when he did say that I don't know, and I said to him, and I said, well, I challenge you. I challenge you to do this, or I challenge you to see that, and I challenge you to this. When we got off of there, he called me like, hey, so about the challenge, would you be able to? And I'm like, yeah. And he never ever like wavered from how he felt, but he wanted some more insight so he'd have a better way of answering and knowing, right? Because he wants to be in the know. And I truly believe that he wants to help, and I truly believe that his heart is in the right
I
place.
can say he does, because even today he texts me.
Mm-hmm.
And I'm gonna tell you two things I like about him. He ain't been. I don't mind. I went to churches when I was running that I've never been to, but I go to church. What I don't like is people that don't go to church to start doing the pop-up church visits. You haven't seen Trevor at every church around town. He just organically been meeting people and popping in on statuses. That's one thing I like. The second thing is he called me today and he said he met a man, Mr. Fields, and he's having mold growing in his house as he was out and about. And he said, can you help me amplify his story? Because I don't really know. I know where to go, but I don't have the following to really get his story out there. Instead of Trevor being like haughty and just coming to Facebook and hoping we shared it, he reached out to somebody that he knew could amplify this man's story. That said a lot for me, because let's just say he does, make it through the primary. He was willing to reach around, because I gave Trevor the business when he was on here with you, but he still was like cordial. He not asking me to go out to dinner every night, but he like, can you help this? We have a shared interest.
That's why I'm kind of perplexed that Becky Brown's comment by saying Trevor is rude. I've never seen Trevor be rude.
I've never seen Trevor be rude.
I've never seen him be rude on a post, rude to anybody or nothing. Now, Becky, I rock with you the long way. But
the long way, Becky, you gotta explain this, because I never seen it.
I need an explanation where he was rude.
Even when he told us, he said, I'm running as a Republican. He was so honest. He was like, I'm probably gonna take flack for this. He was just humble about it.
He said he picked that because that was the lane he knew he could get in on.
That's what he said. But some of the stuff that, even when I asked him about the mental health, he was like, we need that here. And he's continued to, any question I asked him, he's continued to reach out to me. He's continued to go. Even an event that I told him a lot of the candidates would be at, I don't remember what it was. He was like, I'm not going to appear to just be overshadowing if I show up. And I was like, no, you didn't need no personal invitation. But he didn't want to appear that he was taking over anyone else's shine.
I'm going to tell you something else about Trevor. I'm going to tell you something else about Trevor. Trevor keeps in contact with me regularly. And he asks me questions because y'all know me. I'm going to tell the truth, right? Hey, you going to love it or shove it. You going to take it how I give it, or don't ask me, right? And he doesn't, he's okay with that. And he always tells me, I call you because I know you're going to be honest with me. Mm-hmm. He said, I call you because I know you're going to tell me the truth, and it's not going to matter one way or the other, because I have a R behind my name or a D behind my name, if I'm white or I'm black. And I was, because I'm not biased, right? Mm-hmm. And I've said that
I've said before, if I think a Republican is the best choice for a particular seat, I don't mind. If they a good, decent, true Republican, and the things that matter to me, he supported: mental health, schools, things of that nature. Like, he kind of threw me off guard with the charter schools, but he understood our plight as well. So I know I'm not voting for Trevor Tuesday because I can't spoil my ballot. But I'm just saying, if I had to say somebody that has really wowed me, it would be Trevor.
I'm gonna tell you something else. I just think that I'm also saying, let me say this. Thomas Harris, even though we haven't had a lot, we heard a lot from him. He didn't know a lot, just like Trevor, but I gave him those same challenges, and he took it. He called me today. As a matter of fact, I spoke with him and his mother today.
I've
and
never met him.
We talked for a long time. Actually, Chia, I think you would like him.
I've never met him.
I'm just gonna be honest. I think you would like him. We haven't heard too much from him. We didn't hear a lot from him or whatever. And I plan on doubling back so people can see him and he can say the things that he needs to say. We did it on Monday, but I know there's a lot of things going on Monday, and I didn't know so many things were going on Monday because y'all, I try to book ahead, right? Because everybody got something to do, so I try to book ahead. But I didn't know that was going to happen. That kind of was like threw a wrench in it. But I'm gonna double back on it before Tuesday so people can see him and hear from him again. But I don't know. It's cool. But listen, here's the thing about it though. I'm saying this to say that I want everybody to get a shot to say what they need to say, and so that everybody can have an educated decision.
Educated. That's what I'm saying. If somebody won't talk to you,
yeah,
you probably should go ahead and automatically exclude them, because it might be what they say that you like, no, that's not it. And that's not nothing personal. But if you're vying for my tax dollars, I think you need to be able to talk to me.
I can tell you those two were the two. As soon as I reached out, I mean, literally the moment that I reached out, they reached back out, and I have kept up communication with them as of that. And here's the thing that I love the most about it is I ain't got a dog in the fight. I ain't got a dog in the fight. I can't vote for none of them suckers. But I want to make sure that the ones that can have an
educated thing. And that's all I'm telling people. So I'm for the first time, I'm 4 days out from voting. I usually have like my sample ballot filled out, and it's just, people call me and say, who do I vote? So I can just look over and tell them. I really don't know, because there are people that I like personally in the race, but I just don't think that they have the political qualifications. And then there are, some in the race that I'm just like, I don't think that they are the best fit for it. And so I gotta vote for somebody. So we just gonna make it work when we get in the poll.
Yeah.
For the judicial seat.
Yeah.
They conflicted me on my. I went into that show not knowing who I was gonna vote for, but knowing who I was leaning to. Yeah. They all did so amazing in terms of different things. Like, it's one, how like you hear people that be having like 2 and 3 girlfriends and 2 and 3 boyfriends, they be like, if I could combine them all, I had a perfect person. So you had, the first thing that I want is I want to see a Black woman on the bench.
Mm-hmm.
Because we need that in that, that high court. But then in my work that I have done, I have worked with somebody I have worked with Rebecca Jerverbrand, who has said, she's tried to be fair as a prosecutor. She's tried to consider all sides. I can truly say she's done that. And it was a Black kid. And she didn't have to do that. So I'm kind of conflicted there, but I know that and I do like Don Weir. I really do like Don Weir. But if we really had to take it and I liked what Don said about the kid firebombed her car, and then she asked them to give them consent calendar, which means they won't have a record after 18. But I really like Miss Hood. I haven't seen her in action. I really like Rebecca Jerverbrand because I can really put my hand on it and say what she said on the thing was true because I worked hand in hand with her.
That's awesome. That's awesome. So, what else we got? We got state senate.
John Cherry is who I roll with. I roll with John Cherry because Satara. I roll with John Cherry because I had a conversation with him and he gonna play it safe every time. But um the diplomacy is there. He's already in Lansing, so he does have some skill set there. And the conversation I had with him, I was just really pleased with some of the answers that I asked him, mental health, schools, things of that nature. I was really, really pleased. I'm not voting for Monica Galloway, but I'm not about to sit here and bash a black woman either. So John Cherry it is. For me. That's for me. That's if you asking me what to do. I mean, just in the spirit of being, fair, I was not wowed by anything that she did in the 7th Ward. And so I'm willing to give somebody else a chance to represent Flint because I'm not impressed by him. I was not impressed by some of the things that she could have done and didn't do. So I'm willing to give somebody else a chance. And that's kind of where we go with name recognition. You have to use your educated vote. If I've already been disappointed once, I don't want to be disappointed at the state level. For John, he hasn't done a lot of stuff that we can see on the surface, but when you talk to him, again, going to talk to people, his name is on a lot of stuff that has benefited Flint. He actually advocated for the big package that just came to give like St. Mark the $500,000 to build the inpatient beds here and things of that nature. So he's been more silent with it, but he has been, working for Flint. His door is open. I didn't know John, and I reached out to him and I was like, I have some questions. He called me from his personal cell phone and was like, anything you need to know, let me know. Anything else I can do, let me know. So again, I'm not about to sit here and bash her. She is a wonderful wife, a wonderful mother, grandmother, asset to her church, but she's just not my vote, and that's not anything personal. That's me looking out for the best interest of my city.
Understood. What about the governor's race? That's coming.
I actually told John Cherry that I'm cool with his mother and his father, and that wasn't gonna earn my vote. He needed to come and bring me his own things, and he came with what I was looking for.
Okay. What about the governor?
I'm gonna roll with Gretch. This funny though, because why James Craig keep trying to be on the ballot? Now I was down in Detroit last week. He talked about write him in. We don't want him as our, like, at what point is he gonna realize we don't want him as our governor? We don't want you, bro.
He said write him in. That was what he said to you?
Don't nobody want no James Craig for governor. Like, don't nobody want James Craig for governor for sure.
Write him in.
You're not cool with me? Why?
Oh man.
Why they mad? I mean, I told him I don't have to. A lot of people have to realize I've been in some positions and had conversations with people that others have not. So there are some things that I might not say publicly, but some people could have done more things and they just have not, wouldn't extend their hand. I've already seen them not extend their hand. Why would I continue to be like, let's keep trying it?
Jaleel had a question. He said, just asking because I don't know how you use trust as a basis.
He was talking to Becky.
Oh, he was talking to Becky?
Yeah, that was their conversation.
Oh, she said she didn't trust her. Got it.
Yeah.
Boom.
So, some of those, I mean, if you don't vote for Gretchen, who you gonna vote for? Who do we really have?
So, what did John Scott say? Hi, John.
Huh?
I believe Eric will get the job done. would hold people accountable, and would spend the ARPA money on the people. Companies couldn't get over with Eric like the water repair companies that took millions, kept asking for more during the project, and basically never finished the job. Eric wouldn't play that. He might pay half to get it rolling, then he will hold the money until they complete that stuff. The other two already had their
This is
chance.
one of those situations where
Mm,
this is one of those, ain't nobody Democratic running against her. At the governor's race, she might not have done everything that we wanted perfect, but we can't afford to have a complete Republican legislature up there with the people that she's working against. We won't get nothing. So those are the type of things that I look and say, like, you have to look at the things that they want to take, the things that they don't want to give, and you can't split the ballot in August. So
yeah,
you might as well not vote if you're not gonna do it, because you're gonna spoil your ballot.
yeah.
Um,
Tony said, "Who do you feel that?"
we're right in Ronald McDonald. And there have been, I mean, for me, I think that there have been, it's pros and cons to everybody. Has she handled Flint the way I would like to see Flint handled? No, but there are some other things that she has granted, like the bill she just signed a couple weeks ago. Like,
Mhm.
it's not just Flint, but it expands things for our kids, for our students, for our mental health. We're not about to get that with a Republican governor. No, we ain't getting that.
Tony Williams said, "Who do you feel will be a good new chief of police for Flint? You
You
voting for
know, I
two
haven't
guns?
really, I
Two
haven't
guns?
really, huh?
Two guns?
I haven't really thought about a new Flint police chief. And it's a couple reasons why. Most of it has to do with, y'all be asking me stuff like, because I know who not certified and stuff. So those who I think would make a good chief, they don't necessarily have the certifications to get it. So it would be like unfeasible for that. Um so when we talk about new chief, I don't know. I mean, we've had, some good chiefs in the past, but I don't know if they would come back, would be willing to come back if either administration wants to bring them back. So as far as somebody new, I haven't thought about that, because the one person that I was hoping for, they don't want it, don't want the certifications. They intentionally don't want to get the certification, so they can't even be considered. So Timmy Two Guns. So I don't know. I think, but this is another thing we have to, that goes back to the cookouts. We have to mobilize people now, so that in
Yeah.
2 years we're not in a position where we're saying we voting as a last resort, or we're voting as the lesser of the two evils. Like, we have to really pay attention to people now and mobilize each other to run and empower people to run. And we have to stop as a community making it as if everybody does not have the right to run. Anybody who registered to vote has a right to run. And so we have to stop wounding people, because there are some people who may really be, silent heroes doing silent work. But if they not those specific names, we act like people don't have a right to run. We almost shun them from running. So
Hmm.
we end up in a situation where we voting off a process of elimination, or we're voting because they might not have got everything right, but they not gonna do this and they not gonna do that. So we have to start doing different. We have to start doing better. We have to start stop being so woke that we are not going to the polls, because there are some people, who could possibly win if more people go to the polls. I mean, look at the last mayoral election. This is not we already know who I'm supporting, but this is not a slam or a shot against either way. It's just an example. Their election was only between 200 votes. That means that's too few people voting if an election is determined by 200 votes.
Yeah.
We have more people that go to the club than might go vote in the precinct, and we have to stop that.
Yeah.
So, um, yeah, we have to stop that, and we have to, stop telling people you shouldn't run because such and such is running. Everybody can run if they want to.
A lot of that went on. A lot of that went on.
I
And
know, and we have to really, really. Stop that. People can run and people have a right to run, and sometimes people run knowing they're not going to win, but they just want to put their name out there. They want to be an asset to somebody else. I mean, it's a lot of different things. And so, you know, a lot of people wanted Abdul El Said in the last governor's election. People didn't get out and put him in there. So now you can't complain about what Gretchen has or hasn't done. Y'all didn't go vote.
Right.
So whether you love everything she's done, you can't take credit for it, or whether you hate everything she's done, you can't complain because we didn't go vote.
Okay. All right. Well, I got a question for you. It
Yes,
has nothing to do with the votes. The votes are already in. But what do you think of this city council?
I just told you. I didn't. I'm glad I wasn't the one that was called ghetto, because define it. First of all, you're going to need to define that to me, because I need a clear understanding of where this is about to go. Because
Mm-hmm.
what do you mean? Second of all, I think that we need to put the city business first, and we need to put personal vendettas and agendas aside, and that we need to put the constituents first. I think that we need to really stop focusing on, building my name and my relationships, and work with your people. And it's been something going around on social media this week that say Terry wasn't the villain in Soul Food. Eric not the villain on city council, and I'm gonna tell you why. Because even when he write, they so used to being against him and shutting down everything he say, they can't even hear. And this is not this council, but this was the end of last council. I remember that. I'm not gonna say no names because I ain't got time for no defamation suits. Y'all can look it up yourself. 3 council members had it. I honestly will say I believe that it was like not the intent to violate the Open Meeting Act, because they came out and openly said it. Like, I think they really did not know that if you get together and discuss city business, it's a violation of the Open Meetings Act. So they got together, they were discussing some stuff, and they came back and they were talking about it. So Mr. Eric Mays said, I'm just going to tell you, that's a violation of the Open Meetings Act. And if somebody report that to the Secretary of State, you can be in trouble.
Yeah.
Somebody attacked him for that and didn't want to hear what he had to say.
Yeah.
So even when and this is somebody that he's been at odds with since.
Yeah.
Even when he's trying to use his knowledge to help somebody, they so used to shutting them down.
Yeah.
That they couldn't even hear what he was saying. That right there is not getting the city business done, because he wasn't wrong in that moment. As a colleague that knows, that's been attending, he should have told them that instead of letting it happen and saying, I told you so. And so he said, I'll shut up about it. If it happened, then don't say I didn't try to tell you.
Absolutely.
And even with the situation,
we'll see how this goes. That's what
he had gone, like he tried to tell him. So then last week we had a situation, or 2 weeks ago, where one of the council women, or 2 of the council women actually, asked to speak to Chief Green. And then Mr. Edwards came to the podium and they said, no, we want to hear from Chief Green.
Mm-hmm.
So instead of, Mr. Mays said that's improper. Well, because Mr. Mays said it, it appeared that it was overlooked. Well, the proper way would have been to allow, even if Mr. Edwards was going to speak on, he may have been the person that had the information. Mr. Green should have been called to the podium and then allowed to defer his time to Mr. Edwards. But because Mr. Mays was the one who was leading the charge, it automatically had to be wrong. And so I think that, we need to stop this and stop worrying about what the relationship is. You can have a horrible relationship with somebody, but right is right and wrong is wrong. And if you're there to handle the city business, you have to handle the city business with that premise and nothing else. It doesn't matter if y'all fought for 4 hours before coming into the council meeting. What does Robert's Rules of Order say. And so we've allowed a lot of personal vendettas to govern our government, and that is affecting, constituent services, that is affecting resolutions from being pushed through. So
Not even only that, but again, where's the diplomacy?
we have to have, like I said, we have to have diplomacy because, you're not going to get along with everybody. You're not going to agree with everybody, but you need to be able to say we can disagree on resolution 1862. And if 1861 is against the residents, it doesn't matter that we just fought. I mean, 1861, and if 1862 is against the residents, we collectively voting this way. We don't even have to like each other. It just have to make sense for the resident. And so if they can take their personal feelings out, and that's 1 through 9, that's nobody, nobody is excluded from handling the city and their constituents' business. We have one councilwoman that blocked me because I asked her why she hadn't been to see her residents in a certain area. That's not okay, because that means that you're likely not representing their voices in your decisions. And so if you're meeting with your residents, you're answering their calls, you can say whatever you want to say about Eric Mays.
He don't answer them people.
You're not gonna say he don't answer his constituents' calls. You're not gonna say he don't answer they constituents' calls.
You're not gonna say he don't answer anybody's calls, because
that's not what you're gonna say. And if you got a minute, he's gonna click you into the proper city department to get an answer. And so these are the things that people say, I don't know why his constituents continue to put him back in. Well, I do. Because some of them sit up there very poised, but they not getting their constituents' business done. He's not maybe sitting up there so poised, but he getting his business done, and he's fighting for the residents. I don't care if he had to walk, catch the bus, drive his car, whatever. If it's something that is there where he can get information to his residents, you're going to see him there.
Jaleel said, Chia Morgan, what do you think is the best process to bring the city together for issues that all residents suffer the same?
For us to vote for people who we know can do this, and us to vet our candidates. Somebody that I was talking to recently told me that they don't trust words. They don't even always trust actions, but they do trust patterns. And I didn't agree with it in the context that they were talking about. But in this, when you can see somebody's record, when you can see somebody's demeanor, you can see somebody's behavior, those are all some pretenses for voting for them. How will they be in that city? If somebody is snappy at a constituent on the campaign trail, somebody's inaccessible on the campaign trail, then you can go ahead and probably say this is going to follow them into office. And so we as residents, we do have to take some accountability, because we're not willing to sit aside relationships for the good of the city. If you close with somebody, you already know they nasty. Why you gonna go put them in there for the office when we know it's 80,000-90,000 people depending on them to have a better attitude and a better demeanor?
Absolutely. Listen, I just want everybody to make an educated decision.
An educated decision. We have 4 days to do so. And like I said, my vote might not be your vote. So my reason why I'm voting for Gretchen Whitmer, I have a list of things that she has done. I have a list of things that she has not done. And I have a list of things that her opponent would not do that meet what she has done. So we have a better chance of bringing her to the middle than them ever. So that's my educated vote. That might not be somebody else's educated vote, but at least make one. Don't just vote for her because she was cool and in some buffs. Don't just vote for her because she comes to town a lot. Don't not vote for her because somebody else says she didn't do something. Check the record. On the flip side, don't not vote for her for what somebody else said. For me, police and public safety is a thing for me. I think that we should make our police behave. I think they should have the training that they should. But when we have good officers, they deserve to get paid. Somebody else might say, F the police, I don't care about them ever getting paid. I'm not going to vote for somebody that would support the police. That's their right. That's the beauty of democracy. Whether I agree with it or not, they need to be educated in that, though. The facts are out there. You can fact check everything, and check their colleagues. Even school board race. If people say they taught at this school, they taught at that school, and they volunteer here, call them on the carpet about it. I mean, you like literally can almost find out anything.
Tony Wiggins said, "Are y'all still feeling them chucks and bow ties?" Listen, I'ma tell you, listen, and people probably be mad at me for saying that, but I wasn't feeling it from the beginning.
Stop. I'm gonna tell you why I was feeling it, but I'm a sorority girl, so that's why I understood.
Yeah, I totally got that. I got that. I just wasn't feeling her.
That's okay. I'm like, I got a lot of people was why did she do pearls? I'm like,
I totally got that.
But a lot of people didn't. I'm like, because that's a thing.
It is. It's absolutely a thing. I got that. I was not feeling her. I wasn't feeling it.
It was one of them things, though.
Yep, but it was definitely one of them things. But I wasn't feeling her, and I'm still not. Hey, we ain't seen her. We ain't nothing. Like,
so there have been some things that she has really spoken about. There have been some things that I'm like, where you at, my lady?
That's what I'm saying.
But like I said, if you don't like who I'm voting for, don't vote for him. But check the facts, because I ain't lied to you about nothing.
Right.
I ain't lied to you about not one detail, because everything, my baby is on the campaign trail with me. My baby is volunteering with me. I'm taking away from date night to be on the political scene. I'm taking away from date night every time I'm writing a grant. Everything is on the line for me. I don't have time to sit here and play about who is leading my city. So I'm not going to come out here and play. If Karen had really disappointed me in the last, like I said, she had some stuff that I asked her some questions about, but it wasn't ethical. It was more of a, how did you, because a lot of people don't know my first master's is in public administration. So I look at stuff from a different lens. I'm like, oh, okay. I just really wanted to know. But if my girl had given me some ethical concerns,
oh yeah,
I might have been on the ballot this time before, you know what I'm saying? I would have been in that situation. So check the record, check the facts. I've given you some personal testimonies of when I've been with her and how she's moved. And it's not a slander to anybody to say, I just don't want you to represent me. I think we need to stop that, because we take away people's ability to really get questions and ask questions. When people come on my page and ask me, why am I supporting Mayor Weaver? Or they say, a big thing I hear is, I don't like that she had Gil around. I've heard that so many times. I don't get mad about that, because that's their right. Now I'm going to give them some pushback. I love Gil, but I
like Gil. Gil, if you watch it, I rock with you real hard.
What I'm saying is, that's a big thing that we've heard. So that ain't about to be like, you can't come on my page and ask that. I'm gonna get them an answer why she got Gil around. So we have some candidates, whether it's mayoral or any other race, that get mad and say, why you worried about it? Because they the voter and it's their right to worry about it.
Yeah.
So ask me that. Just don't come slandering her and don't come playing with her name on my page. But we got to get away from, because somebody, your friend, somebody asking a question, because that one question might push them over the edge to say, you know what, I really am voting for her. One of my neighbors came, I was sitting on the porch the other day, and they said, can I ask you a question about Karen Weaver? And they, stated a fact that was not true at all. I told them where to find the truth at. I told them what the truth was, how it started. And they said, I've always liked her as a person, but that one thing always concerned me. Thanks for clearing that up. I think she'll get my vote now. Now, what if I would have just went on the attack? I could have potentially lost that vote for her. Definitely. So we have to get away from, because somebody asks a question or because somebody says something, that they attacking people. And here's the deal. If people are mad about things that are not being done by a government official, they have every right, because their tax dollars fund that person's position. That's their right.
Chia, you said child date night and all that. Let me tell you something. Ain't no damn date night. I work every day. Listen, I get up at 3:30 every morning and I go to work. And right now we on overtime, and I am doing 10 hours of glorified babysitting, right? And then I come and then I do this. And then this week I've done it every day of the week. You hear me?
Stop.
I'm giving y'all all I got. And
That's what I'm saying. But I'm like, I'm putting it on the line. I could be on a date right now. I'm here talking to y'all about the election.
you feel me? And all I'm saying is I'm just trying to let y'all make an educated decision come August.
Kids had to eat some fries out the air fryer so I could be on time. But I'm here talking to y'all, so don't y'all dare go not make an informed vote.
I haven't eaten yet. But
I haven't either. But the kids, they
I'm here.
the dog biting my foot.
Y'all, and let me tell y'all this. Today is my daughter's birthday, and I'm still here with y'all. I'm still here with y'all. Today is my daughter's birthday. She turned 17 today. And you know how them teenagers are. And she rocking with me. She allowing me to do this. And so y'all don't let
we got time, y'all got time. And I don't have time to be on here lying. And I don't get down with the whole, name calling on it. I don't care if I wouldn't vote for a politician with your vote, I still will not allow. You can say what you dislike about their policies, but that personal slander, that's just not me. Like, I don't need to personally slander somebody to say I'm not voting for them. So we not about to do that, but we can get down to facts all day. I will tell you why. If you ask me what I think about a particular issue, I'm going to tell you the truth because I want you to have an objective answer. That's like somebody said the police get paid. No, they did not. Because we need to know that, because we as a community, I think it's our duty to advocate for them. We may not have the best relationship with the police, or we may have our personal feelings about it, but the thing is, they out here doing a job. Mm-hmm. We as the city of Flint do not have police in our, we don't have a big issue with Flint police brutalizing people. And so if you call the police, if you've ever called the police in the last 2 years, you need to be fighting for them to get their money.
Man, I'm telling you. Kevin Tay said,
Snickers. The dog is biting my rug.
Snickers is cutting up over there.
Yeah, she was biting my feet at first. Stop.
Kevin Tay said, what do you think about Neely?
I think I'm going to vote for Weaver.
Listen, y'all, all I'm saying, I said all of that to say this. Don't let our sacrifices and hard work go in vain.
Don't let the Judas in this podcast. Get that dog. Because it ain't me. He gonna have to clear this up because we need some answers. It ain't Satara, so who the Judas?
No, it's definitely not me.
Because I'm telling y'all the truth.
Listen, I ain't got no
Neely and I are, when I see Mr. Neely, we speak. We, state our pleasantries. And that's why I said we have to get away from downing people just because we're not voting for him. He had an anniversary, I think about a month ago. Commented and told him and Miss Neely happy anniversary because it's never personal. It's just that I think that Karen is better suited for the mayoral race, but that doesn't mean you have to hate somebody because you're not voting for them. I should be able to see him, speak to him, say, hey, Mr. Neely, how you doing? And going on about my day.
Oh, no.
I shouldn't be able to?
Oh, no. Somebody called her out her name. Let me tell y'all something. Y'all know how I feel about that disrespect.
They called me out my name?
No.
Oh.
No. They said they called Dr. Weaver out of her name. And I said, listen, don't bring that up in here. Because y'all know I don't play that at all.
No, we don't do that.
Oh, no, ma'am. I'm going to address that immediately.
I'm not going on my date. I'm not going on my date.
With that being said, let me say this.
I said I could be on my date. This was already said. I cleared the evening. Bus Satara, and I got these kids. They play. One playing, one doing hair.
I so appreciate you.
No problem. The lawsuit. What does she know about the lawsuit that the police put out? I really don't know a great deal about that, so I'd rather not speak about it. I've heard about it, but I don't know enough details to really speak about it.
I want to say this though, and I'm gonna talk about this respect thing because I don't address everything, right? Because I don't care. You know, you can say what you want to say about me. You can say how you feel about me. You can say what you want to say and how you feel about this podcast. But what you're not gonna do is come in and be disrespectful. And you're not gonna be disrespectful to my guests. I don't mind the joking around and the playing around, but I just don't like people to be disrespectful. Like, that's not what I'm here for. I'm not on that slander shit. None of that, right? But I'm gonna tell you, I just need to say one thing, because I don't know if this person is watching, but I know how this works, and I know it'll get back. And y'all know I don't mind name dropping, but I'm not gonna do that. And I'll try not to give this energy, but I'm gonna tell you this right now. Like I said, today is my daughter's birthday. And y'all, listen, if y'all friends with me on my own personal page, and y'all know it's my daughter's birthday, gave her shout out and everything. Do not bring your messy ass on a post about my kid to do your business. Don't do that, because you being disrespectful at this point. And I don't post none of this type of stuff on my page anyway, my personal page. That's why 810 News Media Group has a page. And if you feel like that's where you need to place it, then you place it that way. Don't put your messy shit on my page. Don't do that. I deleted it and I didn't address it there because that was to my daughter, and it was for my daughter and her birthday. But understand that it's going to be addressed, and I'm going to address you in person. So if you feel like I'm talking about you, then damn it, yes it is. And you know exactly who did it.
But this is the thing.
But don't do that.
Hey, this answers, I think it was Jaleel. I could be wrong. It might have been Derek. We cannot, my mom always says this. When you release a culture of hate, it spreads. And you have no control of it once you release it. So for me, I'm not voting for Mr. Neely, but I'm not about to sit on Facebook and slander him, because for every slander I put out on him, he has two supporters that feel as diehard about him as I do about Karen Weaver. So then when I open that up and do that to him, that makes it fair game for his supporters to come in and do that to Karen, and then things of that nature. So you don't have to like somebody, but it goes back to the council. Right is right and wrong is wrong. We are too old for the personal attacks. So we just need to just keep it straight with the facts. And then we'll be releasing a culture showing what real unity is in our city. We can't demand unity if we aren't giving unity.
Absolutely. And I say this all the time. I've been saying it lately. I always say this in person, and I just really recently added it to the show to say this to people: is do things in love and do it with love, right?
Mm-hmm.
And I wholeheartedly believe that, and I wholeheartedly believe in that, and I feel like if we do more of that, we can be better and do better. So I really want people to actually do things with love and in love, and understand this: if I check you, I'm checking you in love too, because somebody ain't gonna do it like I'm doing it. So I'm not gonna really call you to that. Somebody might do something to you, but I'm gonna check you. But I'm gonna check you in love and with love. I am gonna do that. We can listen, you ain't got to speak to me no more. You don't have to do any of that anymore. But what I'm not going to tolerate, I'm just not that person. I'm not that person that's going to overlook the disrespect, because if I don't teach you how to treat me, then you're going to continue to feel like you can do that. So it's not that I'm trying to, like, cause a big disruption or a problem or anything like that, but I'm definitely going to teach you how to treat me. And if you can't do that accordingly and how I need it and how I want it, then you can move along. Listen, the one thing I know that everybody know about me, my friends, Mickey included, because Mickey is like my brother. That's my man, 100 grand. I do anything in the world for Mickey. Even his girl Nikki, I love her to death. She called me. We talk anything. But the people that I rock with like that, even now, the ones that don't know that I don't give a damn about burning a bridge. And I say that to say, because my peace of mind is more important to me than anything. So I don't care about burning the bridge. I'll burn it. I'll blow it up. Listen, and burn some sage right in behind. You understand me? Because if it's going to give me some peace of mind, because I'm going to tell you right now, I clearly thought about it, and I don't have any intentions of crossing it again. Right? And I think that's the problem, is that we continue to let people cross back and forth doing that shady shit to us. And you don't teach people how to treat you. I'm just not going to allow that.
But we got to teach, like, that's just like, I said, I'm a person for me, because that's the beauty of democracy. What I vote for that matters might not be what you vote for.
Absolutely.
Personally, I'm voting for John Cherry, but I'm not gonna slander Monica, and I'm not gonna entertain it just because I'm not voting for her. So we have to get to that point where we can say that might not be my choice or my candidate, but in the same vein that I want somebody to defend me as a Black woman, because that's a whole different show, microaggressions and how the world, if you categorize it, it's white men, white women, Black men. We're at the bottom of the totem pole.
Listen,
We have to be accountable one to another, whether we hate or love each other. And so it really does grieve me to see Black women downing each other, because you don't have to like them, you don't have to love them, but you should demand that respect for them that we will want somebody to demand for you, because we all know how that is. As Black men, it's repulsive when we don't see them demanding respect for their Black sisters, because they have moms, they have wives, they have children, they have girlfriends, and that should be the end all be all. Disrespect does not have to be tolerated. And then that way you can say, wait a minute, I said I'm not voting for you, but I didn't say X, Y, and Z, even so far as I didn't entertain it. There are people that did not vote for me, and they were just as kind to me on the campaign trail. They would pull up for me, give me food, but they were rocking with somebody else, but they were just as kind to me. Even today, I'm still able to work with those people because they didn't support me, but they were kind to me, they were loving, and they were respectful to me, and they made sure that they didn't wound me. That's just how it should be. What happened to love thy neighbor? And if we can't do that, then we cannot demand that somebody gives unity when we're a part of the dissension.
I don't even understand how someone can run for office and say that they love the city of Flint, but this is how they choose to run. This is how they choose to do things, right? I cannot, in my heart of hearts, give you a vote knowing that you are really doing some crazy stuff on the back end. And here's the thing about it is because I believe, I'm not saying that this is the thing, but I believe, because I am down the middle, right? I'm not on this side or on that side, because I'm an independent. I have been labeled as an independent for probably the last 10 years, right? I have. With that being said, I also don't live in the city of Flint, but I absolutely adore the city of Flint, right? But with that being said, I just feel like because I I have diplomacy, and I am able to reach to the other side. I'm able to sit on this side and that side and talk on this side and this side and that side, right? Right? And so when I hear these things and I see these things from other people, but then what you say to this person, then you going back and you saying something to this person, trying to get these people in a tussle.
But we don't have to pit people. We don't have to pit people against each other. There are two people in these comments. I will not say their names. I will not say what it is. I asked them up very seriously. I said, hey, can y'all stop doing X, Y, and Z at least openly? If you're going to get your jokes off, get them off. But can you not do it openly? They was like, out of respect for you, the way that you handled that, we going to get the jokes off, but we won't do it in a place where you can see it. We won't do it. They never asked me why. The person that they were cracking the jokes on is somebody that I'm not voting for. So they can attest that I'm speaking the truth about it. We can still demand respect and not support somebody, because when you point that one finger, how many are back at you? A lot of them. And so if you want somebody to respect you, your candidate, or things of that nature, you have to allow that other candidate to have the same thing. And then what happens is when you take out that type of stuff, people can see the straight thing. And the people who don't vote can't say, I don't want to be in politics, it's too messy. They can say, I heard her say she not voting for that person because X, Y, and Z, not she hate they wig, or she hate this, or she hate that. And once we can stop doing that, then that's when we begin to mobilize the vote. We also cannot be fake positive to where We're throwing our scriptures out on our page, and then we're the ones that's in the inboxes throwing the rock and hiding our hands. We can't do that either. We have to stop some of this mess that's been going on. I have been a Karen Weaver supporter since, I don't know, I think 3-4 years now. I don't even remember when she first got in. I got a call one day that somebody had called Mr. Neely a very, very repulsive and offensive name. I was offended by that because it doesn't matter that he wasn't my candidate or he wasn't my choice. That's somebody's husband, daddy, and that too is enough for me to say we not gonna do that. So we got to stop taking it to where we only defend our candidate, because that's when it becomes personal. That's when people begin to see the vendettas and say, yeah, that is my candidate. That one don't have to be my candidate. I don't even have to speak to them if I don't want to, but I don't have to allow the disrespect, and I don't have to throw the disrespect to them.
See, for me, for me, I believe that if you are going to have some type of, for lack of a better word, vendetta, or you are going to attack something, you attack on the policies or lack thereof, not on their character and what they look like.
But if you have to speak on their character, do it objectively.
Do it. I was just getting ready to say that. However, there was definitely a however, because I was going to say, however, sometimes character does come into play, but you can't do it on the premises of because you wear your emotions on your sleeve.
You can't do it on those premises. You just cannot. For me, and I haven't always got it right, because you catch me on that right moment and I'm gonna be like, you better should have talked to me. But when you really sit down and think about it, are we better together, or are we better where people don't even want to come to forums because they feel like these people are going to be so rude and nasty to me, or people don't want to host forums because they don't want to have security to stop this person's person from going after that person's person? Or do we want it to be that, we cannot even go and say, hey, you're my councilwoman, can I get an answer for you because you've belittled me on Facebook for so long and, so much. And we just have to stop. The emergency manager ruined Flint, and the hate and the division continues to do it. And I'm gonna just say it. Y'all can get mad if y'all want to. We gotta stop making decisions based on who we think can give us a political promise to.
Woo! My.
Because you become unobjective because you're so focused on that promise that you want or you were given. So it doesn't matter if you are truly about Flint. If somebody made you a promise, I don't care if it was for a seat on a board, if it was for a contract, if it was for a grant, if it was for a position. If you're truly for Flint, you can still be objective. Stop allowing these political promises at any level to guide the way in which you sell our city out for your own game. Enough is enough. Everybody has to play their role in the status of Flint right now. And when you know what's wrong, you won't speak out about it because you are worried about your own benefit. You are no better than the politician that you're talking about.
Absolutely. And with that being said, and I keep saying this, and I probably have said it on every podcast, the profit over morals has got to stop. You have got to stop doing these things and making decisions at the plight of your people just to line your pockets. The profit over morals has got to stop.
It's got to stop. And I'm not saying that if you work hard for a candidate, you dang well better be able to tell them, I'm qualified for this position. Why am I not getting it? But don't let that promise stop you from getting in there. It's been going on since the end of time. If somebody gets in office, they're going to look out for their people. There's legal ways to do that. There's illegal ways to do that. There's ethical, there's unethical. However, don't let somebody dangle a price tag over your head for your integrity for how our city will go. We've been sold out once by the emergency managers. We don't need homegrown doing it.
And if you are homegrown, why are you doing that? Because you already know where we were, where we came from,
And where we trying to go.
and where we're trying to go. Because we're trying to get the beautification back. We're trying to get the city back. We're trying to get it in a place where we are all happy and we are all thriving. And every ward, every side of Flint looks beautiful. And I always say that. Let's not focus just on downtown. We can't just continue to focus just on downtown because the north side needs it. The east side, Lord have mercy, needs it. The south side needs it. The west side needs it. It doesn't matter. We need to look at Flint as a whole. And if we're going to continue to just focus on downtown, and just like you, Chia, I'm not saying that I don't love downtown and I don't like to do things downtown. However, I want to drive through beauty to get to beauty.
Yep. And I know they tired of us talking, but this is the last thing. There's good in everybody. So just because somebody may not do the big thing that you like, you can still give credit to the small thing. And so you might be able to say, I really, really hate the way that they vote on council, but I do remember that time that, those kids was in a rough time and them kids wouldn't have got no support if that person hadn't went. I don't really like the way that, they did X, Y, and Z, but man, if you reach out to them, they might not have an answer, but they're going to take your call. We can tell both sides of the story. You don't have to be so locked in against what you have disdain for that you can't tell the truth about the positive things, because everybody has some type of good in them. It might not even be a lot, but everybody has done something for the city, and we can build on it. I can go through the 9 council people and I can probably tell you off the top of my head 6 of them, just without thinking about it, things that they done. And there's 6 people that don't even align with each other's votes. They've all 6 probably done things that I don't care for, but they've done something to benefit this city. So
I agree wholeheartedly. John Scott asked a question and he said, what are the top 3 things that the new mayor needs to focus, what are the top 3 things Flint is facing that the new mayor must address? For me, I believe
unifying the city.
I wholeheartedly believe that it is crime. It is economic development, and it is housing.
So for me, I don't think this is a tangible one, but before we can do anything, we have to unify the city in some type of way. We are broken as a people. We are split as a people. We are hurt, and all of that does not have to do with any administration, whether it's something that Mayor Weaver did or something that Mayor Neely did. Our brokenness goes back to the mistrust with the emergency management. However, it's continued to fester significantly in the last 2 years. So they're going to have a plan to really unify our city and be able to reach across the aisle to somebody who may not have supported them and say, how can we get this done? And with that, that's going to lead us down the proper trajectory of addressing crime, housing, and economic development. We have to be able to put the right people in place, even if they weren't their people.
Absolutely. I agree. I wholeheartedly agree. I think that we have a lot of work to do. But
it's a lot of work to be done, and it's a lot of work to be done. It can be done. Like I said, it's never been a secret of who I support. I don't even have to ever say it. It's never been a secret who I support. However, I've sat in meetings with Mr. Neely since he's been in office and said whatever I can do to help the city, we can do that. I serve on a board that is, at the pleasure of the mayor by being on Flint Housing Commission. And so you have to be willing to say, if my candidate doesn't get in, I will still work if it's possible. We have to create environments where people can feel comfortable saying that, and they don't feel that that's going to be antagonistic for them. And I think that whoever is coming in for mayor, they need to have a true 100-day plan to lead us to to victory. And so as we make it through the primary, whoever makes it through the primary, they need to be able to say, this is who's going to be my fire chief. This is who's going to be my police chief. This is who I'm looking for these pivotal roles, because that will help people in their decision, because the mayor can only do so much. Their administration is their spine and their backbone. So they don't need to have their full staff picked out, but they do need to be able to have an idea of where we're going. If you make it through August, you need to have an idea of what you're going to look like November 2nd.
So I do want to address this last comment to hear from Jaleel. Jaleel said, I don't believe any mayoral candidate can unite the city, even if they were sincere and wanted to. Why? Once you ball up a sheet of paper, you can never straighten it back out in its original state. Let me say this. If we continue to have that negative mindset, then we're going to continue to get that negative outcome. If we don't start thinking more positively and try and believing more positively, we're not going to see it. So if we keep putting that out in the universe, that's exactly what we're going to get. I'm just saying, if we don't, it has to start somewhere. And no, once you ball up a piece of paper and you straighten it out, it does continue to be wrinkled up. But when people go to prison, is that the same attitude you have with people that go to prison? If you go to prison and they say that you can never be straightened out, but you come out and you get straightened out, is that the same attitude we're going to continue to have for the city, and we're going to continue to have for the leaders? Listen, the leaders have to show that they are willing to do that, and they are willing to try to come across the table, come across the bridge, go next door, across the street to unify the city. If it doesn't happen, let it not be because they didn't try. But we can't continue to be negative about it all the time. If all we're going to continue to do is say, they can't, we can't, why is that even in our vocabulary? We can't continue to do. That's what we can't
continue to go in and feel.
Continue to be negative about it. And let me go a little bit further and say this, because y'all already know how. Jaleel, I'm really disappointed in you to continue to saying what can't be done. Because that's just not the way. And if we are going to unite each other, then we need to unite, even if it's on a small scale. My grandmother always said, charity starts at home and spreads abroad. It's got to start from somewhere. But if we continue to just constantly be negative about it, to say what they can't do, then what we going to do? Remember when folks used to say, the old folks used to say back in the day, can't cross the river? I'm just saying, we can't continue to be negative about it.
And if we are close with any particular candidate in some races, I'm supporting people because I've reached out to them, and had questions. But there are, in some of the races I am close with them, we have to tell them what we expect from them, or we will vote your butt out if you come in here starting that foolishness. And so you might not be able to unwrinkle a piece of paper, but you can start a new one, because we as the community, we have to say, we are going to stop the mess, and we're going to not accept it from our politicians. Mm-hmm. There's a charter that says how often we can vote them out. You come in doing that foolishness in the first 6 months, I bet you when your time is up, we're going to have somebody mobilized to handle these issues and vote you out. So we have to stop thinking defeated before we get in there. The fact is, somebody's going to be our mayor, somebody's going to be our state rep, somebody's going to be our state senate, somebody's going to be our judge. We have to let them know what we expect of them, and stop accepting this foolishness as is.
Absolutely.
The city business is not getting done.
Absolutely. Dave Davenport, I just want to read this because I absolutely believe this. Dave Davenport says, I believe we are missing the big picture. Laws have to be changed to support the moves in Flint for Flint to change. That's why they don't want African Americans in the state Senate. Congress is Senate. In Senate, we must wake up for our children's sake. God bless. We absolutely do.
We do. We have to all commit to doing better, being accountable, and we can start by taking the healing. Somebody came to me Monday at the forum and said, I heard that you said X, Y, and Z. I said, I did not say that, but I will tell you what I did say. And they didn't bash me on Facebook. I didn't bash them on Facebook. I told them what I said. We found out that somebody had taken some information, twisted it to what they wanted to say, and put it in my mouth because I had a conversation with the person about something totally different. when we are able to do those type of things and be mature enough and say that, and that person was really hurt. Like, I'm really hurt that you would say that. And I'm like, I'm really cracking up because I'm like, do that even sound like me?
Mm-hmm.
But the fact is, they were able to come to me. We all need to take a challenge and say that we will right the wrongs that we have done. I think we can all learn from the humility that Winter showed on the show last night and said, I did some stuff that I wasn't proud of, and I went and apologized. And then when people, if we're on the receiving end of that apology, we can forgive them. And whatever forgiveness looks like for you, because going back to mental health, that's your boundaries. So forgiveness may say, I forgive you. I will stop it here, but I never, we can wave when we see each other. I don't want to be your Facebook friend. I don't want to do that. Forgiveness may say, we're going to unite together to move Flint forward. Forgiveness may be, we gonna have this conversation and we'll just act like each other doesn't exist. But some apologies need to be given in this city because it's just gone too far. And before we can hold our elected officials, the supporters and the people around them need to do it. And sometimes we need to realize that if we're so supportive of a candidate, it can give a false interpretation of that candidate that they support there. I remember, and I'm almost done. I remember the last election, somebody who was supporting Mayor Neely came on and said some very disparaging things about some things that was going on with Karen Weaver. And I said, I would really like for you to take this down because I'm and I'm being vague on the issues because I don't want to point the person out. I said it's very unlikely that Mayor Neely knows that you put, well, Neely knows you put this up. He wasn't mayor at the time. I said, and this is just starting some unnecessary mess. Well, Wynn got back to Neely that night and he told that person to take it down. Sometimes you have to be able to look through that stuff and say, this might not have been that candidate, but everybody is not me and gonna look at it like that. And so stop. If you supporting somebody, whether you on their campaign or not, you're not doing them a disservice to throw them nasty rocks and leave it there because it tends to reflect negatively on that candidate. The rocks you throwing for somebody else might land back in your candidate's house.
I'm glad you had brought up Winters because I actually was gonna bring that up too. And when Winters had came into the comments one time, this was prior to me meeting her. Never met Winters, nothing about that. But you always hear things like that. But everybody has a clean slate in the beginning with me. Because my experience is not your experience, and your experience is not my experience with you, right? So you got a clean slate with me. But my thing is okay, yes, I understand that she was supporting Mayor Neely at first, and now she is supporting Dr. Weaver. But are we so mind warped that we won't that we can't allow people to have discernment and change their mind?
Or sometimes issues, I mean, it could, in her case, that's it. But sometimes issues change. People can change their mind.
Yeah. And then I also want to say this. I don't think that diplomacy, humility, humbleness, kindness, and just being a human being is hard. It's really not. And I think that when we make it complicated by using all these words and trying to make it pretty and all these things and saying all these things, when all we got to do is be kind, because it don't.
All you gotta do is be kind and be like, I'm not gonna say that.
To be kind, it don't cost you a dime.
Sometimes it just costs you to shut up.
Listen, and sometimes it's not that you listen. And then when I feel like when people try to do all that extra explaining and doing all that other stuff, like, bro, who you trying to convince, me or you?
They self. But the thing is, our city can heal, but it has to start with being willing to be on the receiving and giving end of some apologies. I mean, usually I delete Facebook and people say why, because some of the stuff that y'all see and say on here I don't want in my spirit. I don't care how much I'm not supporting a candidate. I'm not about to just get down and do some stuff that I'm gonna have to just feel bad about, because like I said, I'm supporting Weaver. It's not a secret. I can tell you some things I don't like that Mr. Neely has done, but I'm not finna get personal because he's somebody's husband and he's somebody's daddy, and you don't really want to come see what I'm gonna be like if you start throwing unnecessary rocks at my daddy. So I'm gonna give somebody else's daughter that same respect. So I think about it like that. But that doesn't mean I'm not gonna tell you what I don't like about what he's done in office, because people have, my daddy a pastor, he a leader. People can say what they don't like about the way he run his congregation, but if you start getting personal, I'm not coming out of Acts 2:38. I'm finna come.
Exactly, and my reason is say like, bro, like I really don't care how you come at me or what you say about me. But wait, don't do the disrespect. But I would never. Chia, this is just like me trying to talk to you and trying to get to know you. I inboxed you because you didn't know me. I wanted to introduce myself some type of way. It's weird to just call somebody out the blue. You had a number, so I'm not doing that. To inbox you, introduce myself, to ask you if you would come on and you would talk to me or whatever. You know what I'm saying? I think that's how we should do things. But there would have been no point at all. For instance, when you posted about your girls today, that I would have come on there bringing this or anything. I think that's so disrespectful for
people.
Can I
say something too, though?
To not know that lane.
Can I say one more thing?
Absolutely.
How many times have I put on Facebook, stop asking me for favors this summer? I just want to relax and chill. How many times have I said it?
I can't even count.
Can somebody please tell me?
I can't even count.
I'm for the people. I'm a lady of the people. But I also am entitled to take some time and kick it with my girls, kick it with my dog, get sloppy drunk if that's what I want to do, because I'm 35 years old.
Okay.
Go on date night. They be in my inbox demanding that I do stuff. And then when I say I can't do it or I don't want to do it right now, or I'm just, well, I thought you was for the people. I'm so sick of that comment, because I am for the people and I have been for the people, creating programs in this city, sustainable programs, since I was 22 years old. Where were you helping me do that? So please stop telling me y'all thought I was for the people. I'm tired of people putting a demand on my time because I am a chosen servant, but that doesn't mean you get to determine when I serve. Stop doing that.
And let me piggyback off of that. Yes, a chosen servant, absolutely, and a vessel to be used, but not misused, damn it, and don't get it confused.
And I am allowed to I never take time for myself, and I think I'm entitled to do that, and it would be nice if people could respect that. Like, sometimes I don't want to talk about anything community. Sometimes I don't want to find a resource, and it doesn't mean I don't care about the people.
Absolutely.
That mean I just want to enjoy my dinner. And like, I've literally been out and people have walked up to our table like, hey, I got a question for you. Like, you don't see that man sitting right there? You don't see that man? And you don't see that man sitting right there? I know you see him. Like,
and let me tell you,
back to being a little
right one go step. You can come up to that table if you want to, but the right one go step. I'm just saying.
Now I gotta sit here and hear this. Why I tell you to stay out of politics anyway. Now I gotta sit here and have a 15-minute dissertation because y'all didn't know how to just see me later. Like, that's why I hate going in public, because it's really never a joy for me, because somebody always want to demand my time. And then people be like, why you don't leave your house? Why you don't go nowhere? Because y'all don't have no manners.
Right. At all. At all.
So I just want to say, stop inboxing me, because at this point, as of today, my DMs are closed. Like, I'm not replying back.
Listen,
I don't even have Messenger. Like, y'all should see the messages I got this week alone, just with people. And if it's something mental health, I don't care if it's 4:00 in the morning. If you can get a hold to me, because that's a different story. That could save somebody's life. But all that other stuff, they be in my inbox demanding. And I'm like, I need to have mental capacity for my own daughter and all of that. Like, I don't want to be sitting here carrying everybody else's weight all the time. So have a little decorum. Have a little respect for yourself and don't DM me, because as of today, I'm not opening them.
Okay. Well, y'all heard it here. If you don't have her number, I don't know what to tell y'all.
Oh, and another thing, stop using my business.
And another thing.
Stop, if you find my notary line, stop using my notary line to ask me for stuff that I ignored in the DM. The notary line is if you need a notary or a wedding planner or a public speaker. It is not for your personal. She ignored my DM. Like sometimes I do ignore DMs because I'm just trying to protect my peace sometimes.
You have to. You have to. You know what? And I think that is a great segue to out it. Chia.
Because I gotta go play with these girls.
Not only that, you gotta eat because you haven't eaten either.
Have
Mickey,
not eaten.
Mickey, you got something to say, Mickey?
Oh, I ain't got nothing to say. I was just and I was saying y'all segue. That's all.
Because I would, we probably would have been done by now, Satara, but Mickey made me be late.
No, I'm gonna tell you what y'all did.
still
I'm gonna tell you
Your
what
hair's
y'all
looking
did.
good.
She went off into that old date night and all around. She took us out to we left Earth, went
Look,
around the 9
They got the
planets,
point.
and just got back here.
What's going on here?
But what I will say, I'm not gonna say nothing.
Y'all, these kids don't see me talking to y'all.
No, they don't, because it's good. 'Cause that's how I've been
Your
feeling.
hair. She did her hair. Let me see your hair.
Yeah.
She did. She ain't gonna show you because she only did the back. She ran up the stairs. She started in the back.
Only knock I got with you. Only knock I got with you.
With me or who?
Nah, with Chia. You know, we good like 100. Only time. No, wait a minute.
Why you want some beef with me so bad, Mickey?
Hold up, Chia. Boy,
He don't eat pork. He won't beef because he don't eat pork.
I'm done. I'm about 90. I'm about 90, 98 with Shatara right now. Because some of them views y'all talked about tonight, y'all took me all the way to space.
Oh.
But we had to talk about it. Satara told me because y'all know I don't talk. So she had to get it all out today.
Yeah. Because Chia finna go on hiatus. So I had to make sure I get it out now. Listen, let me tell you what I know is that I can feel it in my spirit. Because listen, I go on them too, Chia, so I get it. And it don't bother me. I'll see you when you get back.
Look, little Miss Slim Mama be like, we got about 2 more days, don't we? She'll see a poster or status that somebody posted. She'd be like, did you see this? I'd be like, yeah. She'd be like, God dang it, you finna go off, ain't you?
Yeah.
Tuesday at 7:59. I'll be back in a couple months.
No, I respect that. I respect it before y'all get off. The only thing I got, the little thing I didn't agree with, and if I need a hookup, answer that. Damn that. Don't put me in the box with everybody else.
I'm not even finna have a Facebook. They can't get through my DMs between now and Tuesday.
I gotta
go, the whole page.
Because I might want to get me some section 12. I'm just saying, we'll holler offline.
I cannot help you with no section 12, but not like for real. It's just like we were just talking about respect and accountability. Like the work get hard, it get tired, and sometimes you just need to, take a break. So just to wrap up everything tonight, you need therapy and prayer.
Absolutely.
My number is pinned in there if you need to book me. Get your affairs in order with a power of attorney, a will, a deed, last will,
a living will.
A living will. If you need me for notary services, wedding planning, or public speaking, I am available via the number on my business page, not anything else. No, I cannot tell you what I charge for notary. That is out of line to ask me that. I have been asked that upwards of 30 times.
I was just going to ask you that, but I'm glad you said that, so now I know not to go there.
I have been asked upwards of 30 times to share my price list.
I ain't got no $7.
I am voting Karen Weaver for mayor. I don't know who I'm voting for 70th district. Redistricting is a whole nother sore spot for me. I don't exactly know who I'm voting for judge, but I can say that I gave y'all why I'm conflicted, because Miss Hood is in the family division, and I know great, amazing things about her. And it's not that I don't support her, but in all honesty and fairness, I have worked hand in hand with Rebecca Jerverbrand in the criminal division because of the nature of my work. We need to heal as a city, offer apologies, and accept some apologies so that we can move forward. And make sure y'all go vote. Y'all might not vote for who I'm going to vote for on Tuesday, but we got to have more than 14% of people at the polls.
Absolutely. Absolutely.
We must.
Absolutely.
And demand that our police get paid.
Yes.
Oh, I call them all and tell them that our police need to be paid.
They do.
Because I'm not going. Listen, I remember one time my check wasn't there when I woke up.
Listen.
I canceled all appointments for the rest of the day until they can figure it out.
As you should have.
Because obviously y'all need me to be sitting here so we can help figure this out. So I'm not expecting to do something I'm not gonna do.
Because who worked for free?
Because y'all need me to come to accounting and write the check.
I can't.
And then my check appeared like 3:00, so we was able to
move forward with the day.
We were able to move forward with the day. So we can't expect our police to do something that I'm not gonna do. It's not gonna happen.
And we can't ask them to do something that we're not willing to do because I don't work for free.
I'm not gonna work for free. I will. I do a lot of pro bono, but that's discussed
different. That's different.
Discussed up front. I'm not expecting a check when I'm working for free.
Absolutely. Absolutely.
Well, I'm gonna put my pro bono on before you close out. I'm putting mine in now. Go ahead, Star.
Mickey drive me crazy. I love him to death though. So listen, Chia, I appreciate you. Thank you so much for coming on and talking to me. It was so nice to meet you. Hopefully we'll get to see each other soon in person. And tell her I'm gonna be looking for her hair since she only done the back of it.
She might let me text you a picture. She's standing here smiling. She hear you.
But I appreciate you. I appreciate you coming on and talking. I appreciate you being honest and upfront about your views and where you at with things. That was one of the reasons why I really wanted to reach out to you. And I also wanted to reach out because I don't think that people see enough of us Black women just coming together, talking to each other, and just being friends with each other. You know, even though we have not met or we have not seen each other, we don't know each other from a can of paint. But just for people to see that it is able to be done.
Cookout. I'll see y'all at the cookout Thursday at 5:30.
Thursday at Howard Estates.
At Howard Estates.
7:30, right?
Howard Estates, 5:30 to 7:30. And listen, let me tell you, this the easiest. I don't even be snapping on people because I'd much rather ignore y'all. The easiest way to get snapped on for me is to act like you're too good to go to a space. Don't come asking me why I chose Howard Estates. If that's the question you have, figure it out. Come. I would love for you to come, but if you feel like, you're too good, then I would rather that you just don't come, because that's not something that I'm about, is big eyes and little U's.
Absolutely not. Absolutely not. Well, y'all, I appreciate all of you all for coming in and rocking with me and Chia for this long, and talking with us, asking the questions, and giving all that you have given to me. And just like I pour into you, I'm glad that you all pour into me as well. Listen, like I always say, make sure that you love on yourself, take care of yourself, do everything in love and with love. Make sure that you are drinking your water, not Flint water, because Flint water is not clean. But make sure you are drinking your water, doing at least 30 minutes of cardio every day, and make sure you are.
And mind your business.
Yes, minding your business is a big part of it, because listen, ladies, that's how you can keep your edges and your skin clear. I'm just saying. Mind your business.
But get to them polls. They are open.
Make sure
at
that
7 a.m. on August 2nd. They close at 8 p.m.
Absolutely.
And please, precincts and boundaries and borders have changed. Check your voter registration. You're heading to the polls 7 and later. Check and make sure, because it may have changed. We cannot afford to stay home. The future of our city is depending on this vote for a lot of things. We don't want to be a city that cannot sustain itself. We do not want to see a city that is broken. Get yourselves to the polls. Y'all ain't doing nothing else.
Absolutely. Thank you again, Chia, for closing out the week. I was so excited for it, and I look forward to seeing you and meeting you. I'm going to see you on Thursday, actually. I'm going to make it a point to come out. I'll be coming straight from work, but I'm coming.
All right. I'll see you on Thursday.
I'm out on Thursday. Everybody, meet me out there. Hey, y'all, meet me there at Thursday. Meet me there Thursday, about 6:30-ish. I'm going
to be there at 5:30.
We're gonna be there at 5:30, but I'm gonna be coming from work. So y'all meet me there. And so we gonna all pull up on Chia and we gonna all get together. We gonna all talk. So let's all pull up on Chia on Thursday. First of all, let's all pull up to the polls on Tuesday, August 2nd. Everybody pull up. Take somebody with you, and then we gonna Thursday, we're gonna pull up to the cookout. You know, everybody invited to the cookout. So
everybody invited to the cookout.
Everybody invited to the cookout. So everybody pull up on Chia Thursday, Howard Estates from 5:30 to 7:30. But around 6:30ish, that's when y'all gonna see me. So make sure if y'all come at 5:30, y'all stay till I get there, okay? All right.
All right, I'll see y'all Thursday. These kids